Welcome back to Loser's Quest. We're back on the cast for now. Albie, as always.
Eddie, aka Biggie.
Marcus, aka the Za.
And Sergio, aka Rusty.
Hey. So this is technically our anniversary cast. So excited.
Sound like you usually
Yeah,
sound
like,
excited
right.
for every other cast, but you're like, oh man, it's our anniversary.
Yeah.
I'm mad about it.
It's,
Yeah.
though my demeanor may not show it, I am excited. Like internally, obviously, that we actually managed to do this for a year, and you know,
Sort
I
of.
think for
Sort of. It's off and on.
It's still though. It's still
That
a
was
year.
TCG. Shout out to my boys.
So it's still a year. So maybe I just jinxed us, and then we'll break up after this. Who knows? But hey, at least for me, hey man. Besides school, this is a fucking commitment. So hey,
Fair enough.
yeah. So you know, I'm excited. Yeah. But that's all. Like that's all I gotta say about that. Anyone want to mention the YouTube?
You
Go
just
for
did.
it.
Yeah, that was
No,
pretty-
no. Oh yeah.
No,
so-
just
we've slightly moved into the YouTube territory. We're doing some Let's Plays. We're working on some other projects, like some video essay type things. A series where we play each other's games that no one ever has played, like a little version to the game series. We're fucking around with YouTube a lot. It's still ongoing. Right now we're just getting the Kingston. Our editor-in-chief is in school, so he's
Yeah.
slowly getting his schedule right.
Unfortunately, couldn't make it.
But yeah, all our art for banners and updates. I don't know why that's late. Who knows?
Yeah, who the fuck
I
knows?
don't think our art director is working or in school. I don't know what's going on.
Sounds like
I'm
a
not gonna
bitch,
call him out,
Loki.
though. But yeah,
Dog, he probably hears this.
Come at
Does
me,
he
bitch.
listen to?
come at me.
Does he listen to this though?
I don't
Yeah,
think
but
so.
check out our YouTube. It'll probably be linked here, but I don't know how to do that shit. So
We'll figure it out. We're gonna post it. Both
this will also
places,
be on
so.
YouTube. If you're on YouTube, hey, what's up? Check out our video game playthroughs.
Yeah, but no. If,
Or-
if worst case scenario, just type in Losers Quest and it should pop up. So
Yeah.
on YouTube. So
Also,
Easily.
If
like
you're-
and subscribe.
Yeah, if you're on YouTube,
Please.
yeah, go to Spotify or wherever and listen to our old episode of our podcast. We have some pretty good content in there.
There's some good ones.
that's some good ones.
I'll pull out the audio files and put them up to maybe later in the YouTube because I stopped doing that after a while.
I love how you said maybe.
Well, you know.
Well,
I'm talking shit. I'm coming back at you.
Fair
hey,
enough.
hey, come on, you can't expect him to do everything. He's been putting in
I
a
know,
lot
dog.
of
I'm
fucking
just
work. bro.
coming at him.
Well, they should be easy to
Now
do.
I'm coming at you. You don't like it, do you? You
Yeah.
like coming after people,
Fuck
boy.
you.
The heat is
You
on,
aren't in
Albie.
this.
Nah,
You weren't in this.
no, I'm.
Fuck you and your socks.
I'm in this cast, bro.
Wow.
So, mom, please subscribe. We gotta reach 100 by 2021,
Yeah.
or we lose our license.
We have a license?
What?
Yes, I'm making all this up. Just please subscribe. We're desperate.
We desperate. We hungry. We hungry.
We're so desperate. We're gonna use our anniversary episode to talk about a topical thing going on right now.
Hey.
Avatar: The Last Airbender has been added to Netflix. May 15th.
One of us has got a mean, raging hard on from this because he loves it.
Hey.
Yo, I'm like,
You know
thought
who
we
you
were
are.
gonna keep it PG, man.
This is PG, man. I didn't say
Oh,
nothing.
you know what? I've been saying the F word. I always mark these as not for kids, though. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. It always devolves to
It's
some
alright,
shit.
man. Like the Zaw says, fuck them kids.
Excuse me?
One day this will be PG.
One day we'll know how to
Nah.
watch our language.
I don't think so.
I think we can do it with enough effort. It's just that it'll take time because
But your favorite line is saying, "I have no control over this, guys. I can't control myself."
That is,
I don't know what you're
that's
talking
kinda
about.
like your
This is
catchphrase.
this is not on record. I've never
That
said
is
those
straight
words in my
facts.
life. I don't even fucking speak, bro. I
That's
don't know what you're talking
hashtag
about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even speak. I know what y'all talking about. But yeah, no, we're excited. You know, like what was it? It's on Netflix. All Avatar: Last Airbender, book 1, 2, 3. Also, Netflix has the rights to live action, which
Yeah, that's
my
pretty
boy Rusty and the Zaw are gonna try out soon. So you
know
know, look
what's-
out for that.
You know what's sad?
What's up?
I had the box set
I know.
Rusty lent me, but it wasn't until it was on Netflix that I'm like, oh, okay,
I knew there
it's
was
time
a
to stream
I knew
it.
there was a chance that there was a
Wait,
convenience factor.
Did this
waiting for me.
motherfucker
Yeah.
not even watch the DVDs?
Yeah, he watched episode 1 of the DVD set. I got him.
You could have like at least
I
watched
think
him on.
you watched the whole season, right?
Hmm?
No, I feel you though. I feel you.
I remember I watched the first season like years back. Not
Yeah.
even like maybe 2-3 years ago when you guys first gave me the box set, and it wasn't even the Blu-ray. I think I got it from you, Marcus. I got it from you. So I gave that back, and then it came over, and then like you really have to watch this. Sergio gave me the Blu-ray,
No, okay.
so I took those home.
People don't want to watch
Yeah.
something when other people tell them to watch it, though. Let's be real.
I try not to watch anything you mentioned, to be honest.
Exactly.
All those fucking Pornhub links, I'm like, fuck this fool.
Click on them, though.
Bro.
I mean, I don't
you
admit
might
it to
find
your
our podcast.
face, but you know.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw our podcast on Pornhub. There might be an audience there. We
No.
don't know.
Hey man, fucking polite guy got
Yeah.
a pretty big following.
Follow the radio.
Anyone who's laughing at this one is a fucking pervert.
Let me write this
Why are you
timestamp.
laughing?
I'm gonna have to get rid of this.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. That was my fault. Oh, you're right. I
That
can't
might
control my
stay in
mouth.
though. Hey.
But no, we're all
Don't subscribe,
excited,
Mom.
and I think this podcast has been a long time coming. Thank you, Eddie, for catching up because it was just gonna be me and Sergio. We fucked that up.
This is our third recording of this podcast.
Wait,
But first we
third?
had a blackout. Then I forgot to set up the mics properly. And here's our third attempt with the full crew, so it kind of worked out.
That kind of worked out.
Yeah, I was actually sad when I saw the message when you guys were saying, "Oh, we're gonna record this." I'm like, I just finished watching it.
There
I
was
have a
something in the
lot
universe that told me, I
a
was like,
lot
you
of
know
things
what?
to say.
I was like, if Eddie's ever gonna see it, it's on Netflix because it's fucking convenient. He doesn't want to get up to change the disc. I was like, he would have told me.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
if he
so that's
watched
why
it,
we
he
figured
would
you
have
were.
stunted on me. So since he didn't, me and Los were trying to do an impromptu to try and get this before the anniversary. But we're here now.
And then in the
And-
nice
and then
biggie.
as soon as you said stunted, and then as soon as you guys said that, I started dropping the knowledge of stuff that I would have known if I hadn't watched the show.
Dog, in the nicest way possible, no disrespect at all, but we kind of gave up on you watching it. At least
No,
a
I
little bit.
understand. I understand.
and
I
you're right.
completely
We
understand.
I'm surprised you didn't like brag to this motherfucker. Like hey, fucking watched it finally. But yeah, God knew, He knew, and He was like, nah,
he
you
got
need the
this shut it
fucker.
down that day. And he was like, hey, you might need Eddie. And we're like, all right, bet. But you should have stunted Eddie. You should have been like, yo, man, this text was funnier
I'm
than
like-
Zuko's redemption. I'm like, yo.
That's why
Avatar.
I did say like small jokes like freaking Iroh's CrossFit, like that guy got so ripped.
But that
so
was a
fast.
day of, I think, so it's
Yeah,
too late.
And to be honest, there's a lot of memes and TikToks and Instagram videos resurging of Avatar. So I was thinking maybe you were trolling because you saw some shit.
Oh no.
Because there's
You know
a
me,
lot
I
of content out there right now.
rarely watch a lot of meme stuff online.
Fair enough.
So
I'd do it just to troll him.
Hey.
I would. That's worth
no,
it.
like I don't know. I think it's just because I'm older, in that range where there's a gap between me and meme culture that I'm just like, okay, they exist, and I feel out of the loop sometimes. I'm like, I listen to the news, so I didn't need the
I'm
memes.
gonna be honest, dog.
You know, like, cause honestly, all I've been doing is listening to like Vox, NPR, and all that shit. So I'm like, oh, great. What are the kids doing?
I've been resistant to these apps for the longest time, so I'm like slow on everything. I resisted Twitter, I resisted Instagram, and now I'm on it, so I'm late as hell.
Bro, me too. Like, Twitter is wild. I love it.
I don't know.
love it.
I don't know why I resisted so much. Like, just fucking get it. Like,
Yeah.
what's wrong?
I feel like I'm not up to date when I'm behind on the meme.
I'm surprised, but you got the hookup though.
That's
You're
what I'm saying,
fam.
no, but that's why I even feel. That's why I feel slow when I don't know what the trendiest one is. I feel like an old man, so I want to stay young forever.
I
You
hear
are
you,
young
bro.
forever, just
I
shave.
hear you.
Yeah.
When I see you like send us all these memes, I'm like,
I do gotta
where
explain
were
some to
these?
y'all. Though.
Yeah, for real. But there's some like, like staying topical. Like you listen to the news and then you see the memes like.
I
the
do
ones
try-
that you
I do
send.
try and fit them into whatever the conversation is, because there's a meme for every occasion.
As we saw with that last one,
Oh,
the
yeah.
3-parter, I think it was.
Oh, that was a meme. That was just, you know what?
It worked, dog.
It's gonna answer a question.
it worked. But enough. Like, we're young. Just so you guys know, don't get it twisted. We're young.
Hello, fellow kids.
Yes.
Let's rate Area 51, fellow.
Yes, that's
Fellow
what we're
youths.
doing.
Round 2, let's
topical.
riot.
But yeah, no, let's get back on topic. Avatar. It's quite a lot of episodes, so we're gonna do our best not to get too mixed up. But we can only promise so much. We're gonna get in there. Starting off with any last minute announcements before my boy Rusty jumps in this motherfucker.
Yeah, there's gonna be. We're just gonna talk about the show because Big East watched it for the first time. All of us fuck with it, and like we said, it's back. It's back in the spotlight. Let's enjoy it before that live action ruins it, and let's enjoy what we got while we got it.
We'll talk about the live action thoughts at the end because I do have like.
I
one
know, but
thought.
I'm just saying that's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Spoilers ahead.
Mad spoilers.
You want to
ahead.
get it in, Zal?
Spoilers ahead.
I need more energy, but that works.
All spoilers ahead.
All the spoilers. So you want to start us off with the mean ass
Yeah,
quick
little
recap?
quick ass
Yes.
monotonous recap.
Most of us know what it is, but just in case.
Yeah, and if you're watching this, even though it's gonna be spoiler filled, you must fuck with it. But we're just gonna give you the quickest and worstest of overviews. It's just pretty much a different world where there's 4 nations. They each bend an element. The Fire Nation ain't cool about it. They invade Aang, the Last Airbender, which is the title. Turns out he's the Avatar supposed to keep peace. Disappear for 100 years. Gets found in some ice, and he's on a quest to stop them evil Fire Lord people. Man, like I said, quick, disgusting, horrible synopsis. It sounds like I don't know shit about it, but that's because we really want to talk about the characters and the world that really makes us love the show.
We're not trying to do a review
it's
or
not a
any
straight
episode.
review.
We're just
That's
trying to see
coming-
why we love it.
That's
know?
coming October.
Don't promise what we can't relive.
That's a
That's a rusty promise.
Wow. I might have to rewatch
October.
these.
If you
episodes.
don't, if we don't do it, the Rusty will shave his head into an arrow and dye that bitch blue.
You know what?
Wow, that's dope.
I'm doing that for the reviews. Fuck. Okay, now I gotta go.
It's on record now.
I'll do it. I don't give a fuck. I can wear a hat at work. Let's do this shit.
Nice.
It's on record.
Should I do it too in solidarity?
Hey, man.
I'm not gonna do it. I got a fucking misshapen head. I can't do bald.
He's got a misshapen head and you got a wife, so maybe I could get away with it. So, you know what?
There's
Let's do
nothing
this.
better than pissing her off and getting on her nerves and telling her, it's my hair!
Or like most girls, she might have a crush on Zuko, so you just get a scar.
That's true. We got you, man.
Makeup. Jesus Christ, I don't mean like really scar your face.
Bro, I'll go as
Most
far
girls are
as
Zuko
shaving
stans.
off at least
That is also true.
one eyebrow.
Like I said, you don't gotta commit that hard. I'm just saying most girls are hardcore Zuko stands
I feel that.
because of the raspy voice.
I don't feel it because of that, but I feel that. I
And
see
because
why.
he needs to be healed. He's a good guy.
He's a
Deep,
good guy.
deep
I
inside.
just love his comic. But so we don't jump around too much. Let's start off with our first. We're gonna split it up into the 2 protagonists, right? Zuko and Aang.
Start with
Oh.
Aang because he's the first person you meet. Well, Psych, you meet Sokka and
Oh
Katara
shit!
first.
Oh shit!
And I'm already fucking this up.
Yes, sir. I know all about Avatar.
Yeah, well, pretty much you're introduced to them too, because the main squad at the beginning is Katara, Sokka, which are brothers in the South Pole. Katara could bend, Sokka can't. He's a bit of a little, he's a little woman hater. But you grow to love him. But yeah, pretty much they're fishing and they break some ice, meet a ball kid with a giant beast, and that's how you meet Aang, a little 12-year-old. Which I'm gonna start saying I watched this in middle school and I don't know how much I would have liked it because I hate children. But Aang is such a gangster, man. Let's talk about Aang a bit. Let's get into it, man.
That
Well,
bald
what, you
bastard.
mentioned that in the beginning. This was the hard part for me. Meeting Aang, he's the last Ember. He's
Aang's
goofy,
whack.
and it's just
Season
like
1.
yeah, it was really
I'll
hard.
admit
The
it.
first half of the book was really hard to get sold on this character. So I didn't even watch book 1 this time when I decided to watch it. And I started with 2 because I knew if I went back to 1 and had to slog through the first couple episodes, I wasn't gonna make it. So I just rolled the dice and like whatever I remember from the recap that they're gonna give me in the opening of book 2, I'm gonna take it.
That's fair, dude. I ain't
Fair
gonna
enough.
judge on that. Because, I can't imagine watching it now. Like, I might have the same issue as you because I'm like, well, Rusty, fuck them kids, low-key. But
Well,
I did
technically
watch
he's
it.
not a kid.
Huh?
Aang's not a kid.
He is.
Okay,
he's
Edward
bro.
Cullen.
He's
He's not 17. He's 117. Like, yeah, but he's still a 12-year-old kid with a 12-year-old attitude. He's very kid-like.
mm-hmm.
But I did watch it when I was younger. But
Mhm.
they do show glimpses in season 1 where he's low-key a savage and a badass.
Yeah.
And that got me in through it. Like, pretty much him in the Avatar state.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yo, this fool got the business.
He got that thing on him.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I think because he's such a young kid, I think they do play it off in the show well. I don't think it's overplayed. Like, I won't bring any other shows, but there's like other shows where they have the kid protagonist. He's just an annoying little fuck. But I think in
Say
this
it,
one,
dog. Say Naruto.
I was
Say-
gonna
nah,
say,
y'all,
I don't-
y'all,
Okay, yeah.
psych. No, I don't want to bring it up
away
because
from that.
just in case, just in case there's anyone,
So I'm rewatching it too.
just in case there's
hate it.
anyone out there that watches that show that I'm referring to, they're a very toxic fan base, so I don't want to mention it. But there's another show that have a little kid, and he's just annoying as ever, and that made me not want to watch the show.
Steven Universe.
Son of a bastard.
Steven Universe
You always
fandom.
say the most toxic fan base is Steven Universe, so I've committed that to memory.
All right, well, thanks for that. But no, I think with this, they know enough. For whatever reason, I feel like they almost predicted, like, hey, grown-ups might watch this. Let's give it some more, like, maturity, even though we have a kid. And I think they played off. Obviously, book one, you see all the bad effects of a little kid, but it definitely grows up towards book 2 and 3, I think.
Oh
For
yeah,
sure.
definitely. That's what kept me watching.
Hell
Because
yeah.
you do see some, they're Aang being 12 and he has this great responsibility
Yeah.
put on his shoulders, and he knew this before he was frozen, so he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
avoiding.
That's the
trying
reason
to
he
avoid
ran
it.
away, too.
Yeah. So them incorporating that and also seeing like, yo, this kid has a bunch of stuff to do. He's only 12 years old, and what is it? The story takes place in a year?
Yeah, it's like a year, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much from whenever they find them to whatever the next summer is.
Yeah.
So it could be less than a year, a little over a year.
Yeah, so that's really crazy, and he did develop a lot within that
Mhm.
year. So
Yeah, because they
a lot
do
of props
say
on that.
like all these avatars trained for years within each element, and this motherfucker had a year. Like, oh god.
Well, yeah, like we said, Aang is 12 when he finds out he's the Avatar. Most Avatars find out that the Avatar at age 16.
Mhm.
And then they go train for years. But they told them ahead of time because they're like, yo, these Fire Lord fools looking mad suspicious.
Mad
But
sauce, bro.
then you gotta remember, this poor kid's 12. He's like, yo, I'm like a little free air nomad who
Yeah.
likes being free and having fun. And they're gonna try and train him to a sense militarize him
Yes,
to make
that
sure
is
there's
so
peace.
true.
And that's why, as annoying as he is, you start understanding why.
Mhm.
Because I think it was episode 2 when he finally tells Korra and Sokka that he's the Avatar. They're like, why didn't you tell us? He's like, well, I never wanted to be, man. And I was like, phew.
Hey,
Boy.
Rusty, Korra and Sokka.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, sorry. I've been watching Korra. And we'll talk about that.
Sorry, I just
in
on your
November.
nuts because I know you love it so much.
Yeah. We'll have that discussion.
But no, yeah, you're right, and I think they do play in a lot, like for his decisions, especially some of the monumental decisions. I think they play the fact that, like you guys mentioned, that he's a little kid, but he's faced with this like monumental task, and like for example, killing. I think that's one of the biggest things he struggles with. Like first off, he's a nomad. Like essentially an air nomad, airbender. Like they're not supposed to do that. Second, he's a freaking child, and they want him to fucking straight murk foods. I'm like, and you see that conflict a lot, where you have these beliefs that he grew up with, and the innocence that he's a freaking innocent child, and he has to struggle with that. I was like, you gotta kill him. I was like, I don't want to.
I think that was one of the best storylines that they had throughout the story. Is just, yo, he had a set of beliefs because he's Buddhist,
Mm-hmm.
so he's vegetarian. So you already have that playing in, and he's very much in tune with the doctrines
Mhm.
of the Buddhist monks that raised him. And I like how he goes into the Avatar state, well, meditation, right?
Mhm.
The Avatar meditation, to call upon all his previous selves to see how they would deal with the situation.
Yeah.
And I like how that pays off in book 3. I don't know if we want to talk about it now. I'm not going specifically into
Yeah,
it.
we're kind of. I just want to quickly
We're leaning
bring up.
towards
I
it.
like that the three Katara, Sokka, and Aang, they all start off as kids who have
Mhm.
who have like these issues of being kids because they don't explore it the most in season 1 or book 1.
Mhm.
That Katara, her mom died, so she kind of became the mom of the household, so she's a little too mature for her age. And Sokka has this overarching quest where he wants to become a man because his dad and all the men in the village left, and he was just at the cusp of technically being a man, so they left him behind with a bunch of kids. So he feels like he needs to prove himself. So I think all three of them have this weird thing where like they're kids, but they're low-key,
They
fucking
had to
childhood
grow
kids.
up. Yeah, they grew
They
up.
gotta grow up. Like Katara and Aang kind of had to grow up, and Sokka wants to grow up. I think is what they got going on.
That's actually
Yeah,
perfect,
that is
dude.
true.
That is
So-
perfect.
and that makes a very interesting story to tell.
And a very interesting character, Sokka.
Yeah, even the bad guys. Like what is it? Zuko and his sister and those group of friends. Like when they have the beach episode, they're talking about exactly how they they learned to perform to be noblemen
Mhm.
in the Fire Empire, and how that really caused them to develop different quirks. Like one of the girls who has, do you know the one that was at the circus?
Oh, Ty
Ty
Lee.
Lee.
Yeah, Ty Lee. Basically, she's one of like 6 girls that look identical.
Yeah, a bunch of kids. She said.
Yeah, a bunch of kids.
Sisters
So
she said
she
had.
wants to stand out. So she did what she rebelled in a way to establish her identity. You have the other girl who didn't rebel,
Mai.
who is Suko's girl, May.
Yeah,
Who
she just
basically
had
is
the
like-
life, and she was like, "What do
yeah.
you want from me? I had a normal childhood." And
Yeah.
she straight out admits it. She's
Mhm.
like, "I don't got these backstories because everyone low key do."
Mhm. And
I'm me.
she's like, and even with doing what you're expected to do, that there is that trauma of like, maybe I should have done something else instead of just blindly following orders. And then you have the sister, Suko's sister, Azul, who is just following all like the orders and definitely taking her cues from her father.
Yeah, she was a prodigy, and that took special notice of her toxic ass father, who's
Yeah.
a low key sociopath. So
Exactly. So
Yeah.
and
the
her,
sociopath took her under his wing, and that influences a kid like mad crazy.
No, dude.
definitely. So looking at her breakdown towards the end of the series was whoa, like she seemed like she kept it all together until the very end when you see every single one of her insecurities stand out more.
Yeah, and Zuko too. He was
Mhm.
the son of like pretty much the king, and he was finally gonna delve into the world of the politics
Mhm.
because he was finally gonna be in meetings and all that. But then he does some disrespect, ends up getting scarred by his father and banished, and he pretty much got thrown over where he was in charge of ship with a weird mission to go find a guy who doesn't exist because Avatar's
Yeah.
been missing for 100 years.
I know, and that's straight up like, man, your dad is giving you a task that he knows you're more likely to fail than succeed, and it's basically him saying, I don't want you to be my family anymore. Go out there,
Yeah, go
don't
do
come
this
back.
fool's errand.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you gotta remember when this show starts, I'm sure they have birthdays here and there, but Zuko is 16, so people forget that how he's young. People forget that Azula is younger than Zuko. She's 14.
Oh, dude, I always forget.
Yeah, people forget that because of her lipstick and shit and being a badass. They forget that she's just a 14-year-old teenager
Put her in
who's still going
Smackdown.
through all her hormones and shit trying to figure out who she is.
Yeah.
So that's why I do,
And the
man,
boys too.
Yeah, this show is just so hard to discuss because every character low-key is dope,
It's
has a nice
definitely-
fleshed out story, and has
Yeah.
has goals that you believe. We didn't even talk about Toph.
No, I was gonna bring her up right now.
we
I was
got
just
into
waiting
Zuko
for
a
you.
little, so
Yeah.
but no, back to like
Well,
Katara, I think. for
We're
sure,
skipping
like-
Toph?
No, we're going
Just
back
a
to
quick
because we
recap
didn't
on
say
Toph?
too much.
Yeah, but we should just say Toph.
Yeah.
She's a over nurtured kid that people ignore, but it turns out she's
Mhm.
low-key a fucking
Yeah.
One of the best characters for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Like her struggle was basically, she's eight. What is
I forget how old
the
she is.
PC term? I
Oh,
can't.
12,
she's
10.
She's 10. Yeah, if
Okay.
Aang's 12, I think she was 2 years younger, so
Okay.
she was like 10.
Yeah, because she can't see. So that's one of the
She is
things
blind.
that everybody in her home treats her like she's handicapped. When
Yeah.
she isn't. She's very capable.
She's
And-
also from like a super fancy
Yeah,
family, so
super
even
rich
that they really
family.
like, oh, you don't gotta do anything.
Yeah.
Plus you're blind, so you must be a delicate little flower.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And she's like, yo, dog, I'm a weed that you gotta pull out and salt the earth because I will grow
Oh.
back. homie." That is top.
Yeah.
energy.
Dude, and even
Definitely.
when they saw her being very capable, they're like they constricted her even more. It's like nah.
Mm-hmm.
So them parents was wild.
Yeah, they were, and I like how on book 3 they did a lot of fixed relationship bending. So like excuse the
I was
mending.
like, oh, man.
My bad, mending,
I was like, ooh.
mending,
Ooh,
mending,
this guy's
mending.
deep.
Yeah,
Damn,
you know,
go on.
relationship mending was really great at the end when you have characters who possess traits like what is it Suko's no oh god I can't remember her
May.
name, the waterbender.
Katara?
Katara and Toph, like she's more of a mother figure and Toph is a child doing bad things and she wants to guide her a bit, so they have that interaction and it's very meaningful to like explain more of Toph's story and emotional needs that she feels like she's tough enough to get by without, but she needs that still,
Mm-hmm.
because as strong as these kids are, they still need some emotional like healing.
Because they kids, yo.
Yeah,
They kids.
and her name's Toph because it sounds like tough.
Yo, she has a 6-pack.
Low key, dude. She probably does.
Yeah, but like we're saying, all these characters are pretty deep, fleshed out, and they all have their things, and they're all young, being thrust into this like 100-year war that they're just getting into because they have to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like we said, starts off with just the 3: Katara first, Sokka, Aang. Aang, he's a airbending prodigy master. Got his tattoos. That means you're an airbending master. but he knows no other element because he ran away beforehand, and that starts to set off the quest pretty much. Them trying to get to the North Pole.
So you can learn water bending.
Water bending. Yeah.
Hey.
But I just wanna take this moment to give props to my boy Sokka, the goofiest motherfucker ever. And we were talking about this last time. Is I really like how they put respect on his name, because normally you have like the goofy character and they just write him off like, oh, this guy's an idiot, whatever. He's just there for
Just comic relief.
Yeah, essentially. And he's there, but he also he adds to the story. I think like every time they have like a very serious moment, he comes in, says something like freaking witty or dumb, and it just works. Like this is him. He owns it, and I really appreciate that they put respect on my boy's name, because shout out Sokka, best boy.
You're right, because in the first book, I didn't really see him as an integral character. But as the series developed, you see him be more of the tactician of the group, because he doesn't have superpowers in this world.
Yeah.
He's a regular human, so he has to use his wit to try to make plans to survive in the world where benders are really reigning supreme.
Yeah, and they do have an episode where he actually struggles with that. He's like, I'm basically useless. You have all these benders, and I'm just me. So what does my man do? He takes a freaking meteor, makes a sword, trains, makes a sword, and then becomes a badass.
Yeah.
Not like
Well, even I think the thing is interesting for him in season 1, he wanted to be the leader without having any like experience or anything. Like in season 1, they have an episode where he's like, "Yo, I'm technically the guy, right? I have the map," and they're like, "All right, lead us, man, Mr. Map Man." And he like walks into a camp full of enemies, and that's just like the fact that like he wants so bad to be the leader, the man, the guy, the guidance, and the tactician, but he's just not there yet. And I think. I don't know if they do it too much on purpose, but in season 1 he keeps trying it, like when he's trying to talk science to the fortune teller people, and people are like, dude, get out of here, man. But like he wants so bad to be like, yo, acknowledge me, love me, but
notice me, senpai.
But it is like more into season 2 and 3 where he's like legit like, all right, you know what, I've been through some shit, my girlfriend turned into the moon.
Best girl.
You're supposed to say that's rough, buddy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
That was
That's
the
rough,
best.
buddy.
That's rough, buddy. And then after that, he really does. He's like, yo, you know what? If I'm gonna do this shit, I'm gonna do it right. I don't know if that's what they intended, but that's kind of how it turned out. Because
they do show growth, and I really appreciate they didn't just throw him off as a comic relief, just like he's just comic relief. Just make him say something funny. It's more like he's like the support of the group, like they showed when he was gone, and I feel like that's a very important aspect to the group is they need him. At least that's what my heart tells me. But that's all I really wanted. I just wanted to put respect on my boy's name. Y'all can move on.
Yeah, so we'll talk about more a little bit about Aang, how it's him growing into accepting the fact that it's like, hey dog, you're the Avatar, you ran away once, you can't do it again, you gotta fix this shit now, or or that's it, baby, we're fucked.
So what's the first one? He has to learn water. So
he has to learn water.
That's what kicks off their freaking that's what kicks off their adventure. After that, I think it was Earth.
Yeah, it's Earth and lastly Fire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. When did they meet the other character though? Because that guy was really interesting.
Before
too.
they get to the North
The
Pole,
fire
they do
guy.
meet a firebender, because they're very limited in fire teachers, so they try and take advantage of that.
He's not one of the main posse, but he's someone that you meet through the Aang gang, I guess. And I think he was one of the really interesting character because he explained fire like. It's basically meant to burn and destroy, so he hates the fact that he can earn Earthbend because he just sees all this destruction. And I thought that was a really interesting character and a character development for Aang.
I think that was an interesting character development for the Fire Nation as a whole.
That's true too, yeah.
Because pretty much at this point you meet General Shao,
Zhao,
who's kind of an asshole, and he just like him and Zuko when they have their Agni Kai, they brutally just like punch fire each other. It's very brutal, primal. And then John Gunn says, yeah, I hate fire. All it does is burn. I wish I could do water because it heals.
Yeah.
And this establishes that the Fire Nation is brutal. And, like, it seems like, it makes sense that they're the war country because, you know, fire burns and destroys. And they really talk about it later in season 3 where Zuko, eventually he changes side, but he loses his aggression, so he loses firebending. And then he finds out fire's more than just burning and destruction. It's also about warmth and growth. Because I think it was really cool that they're like season 1. They're like, "Yo, fire bad, fire burn."
Yeah.
Because they're like, all these fire dudes are low-key assholes. Like,
Yeah.
Like, Zhao is kind of a dick. John Jong's kind of an asshole. He doesn't even want to train.
Azula's
his
obviously
crazy
the dad.
bitch.
And,
Yeah.
But then all this time they're like, hey, Iroh's pretty cool though, right? And I'm like, yeah,
Yup.
but he's part of the evil country, bro. But then they started establishing like, hey, this is just a nation with an evil leader.
yeah, that's true.
And they slowly start being like, you know what, Fire's not that bad.
Yeah.
Iroh's the shit. He becomes everyone's uncle.
Oof.
Oh, for
Forever.
real. Yeah, I'm talking about that. Like, yes, the aggression. I like how even the bending and the nations have those identities attached to them, so they have those conceptions of each other. So fire people, they're very aggressive. Have the Earth Nation who are calm, resilient, and wait for the perfect moment to strike.
Stern and solid.
And then you have like the water tribes that are basically very adaptable people. So
They
I
flow
really
like water, bro.
exactly.
But yeah,
I didn't want to say that, but yeah.
They go with the flow.
Yeah, so and
You can see yourself.
and the air
outside.
nomads are very like peaceful,
Tranquil. They like to be part of the earth.
yeah,
And,
definitely.
so they all have their
And then-
things.
and basically not using force and trying to use more wit, right? Than
Yeah.
to solve the problem.
And you're right. Every nation, for the most part, obviously you have like outliers where not everyone fits that description, but a lot of the times, those whenever you get to a nation and you meet the people, they kind of fit within that category. Earth Nation, you have the stern, and Fire, you have pissed off, angry dudes, or at least intense, I guess I should say, because not Earth isn't just about anger. So you meet a lot of intense people, and
Yeah.
I really like that. I really
One of my
like
favorite
that.
things about the show is how they always show opposites. Like the first time you meet a Earthbender with a name, you meet Boomy, who's this yoked out old man who can't be rocked. But then
Oh
you
my
meet his
God.
opposite, which is Toph, which is
Oh my god, dude.
which is a young little 10-year-old girl who, like Boomy says, she waits and listens
Yeah.
before doing her movements.
So I guess
So
we
they
should
always
mention
have
how
these
do we
opposite
meet
sides.
Toph? Who does she fight, Sergio?
I don't remember this episode.
Bullshit.
Toph's introduction was the weirdest shit ever. And I'll give him kudos for seamlessly adding a character and making it fit really well.
Yeah.
Pretty off the bat. Like after a couple episodes, you're like, oh, Toph was here the whole time, right?
Oh yeah.
Like it
yeah.
feels weird.
Yeah, that's true, because you don't see him right from the
there's no
beginning.
Toph, yeah, so
it's like
I'll give him props because they made her so integral and made her fit so naturally.
And a lot of the jokes that they do with her is just the best.
Oh man, dude. Sorry to the blind community, but the blind jokes.
Oh, that's true. No disrespect,
No,
man.
oh,
But
those
it's-
jokes.
it's-
Yeah.
the
it's-
blind jokes are
God.
like on point.
And I
Totally
like
true.
it because it's not even a joke on her.
Yeah.
It's a joke on other people around her
Yeah.
who
She
just
owns that shit.
You like forget that she's very capable,
Well,
but she can't see.
One of the
so
first blind
get on
jokes that she makes it is when they're looking for the library, and she's like, "Look, there it is," and everyone's like, "Yo!" And she's just like, "Oh, that's what someone's gonna say when they see it," and then she does that. So even she's cool
Yeah.
with the joke.
Yeah,
That makes it
definitely.
funny.
I'll just bring up this last one, but I love the one. I was like, oh my god, it's so dark and scary. He's like, gee.
Oh, yeah, like, oh, what a
Oh,
nightmare.
sorry.
No,
I love Toph.
I
She's
even
amazing.
like another desert one. So like they're walking and Sokka stops and she bumps him. He's like, "Hey, can't you watch where you're going?" She's like, "No." He's like, "Oh yeah." Dude, man, the little blind jokes they make, like they're pretty spot on. They're not too mean, and they're just kind of like things where you kind of forget because she's such a badass.
Yeah, dude. It's like you
And
don't think
does
she
the
needs
seismic
that.
thing where it feels like she can always see when they make a she can't see you. You're like, "Oh yeah, I keep forgetting." She's like,
Yeah.
because she's just such
when they
a
were
badass.
showing her wanted poster.
Oh. Like, well, I'm thinking it's a piece of paper. Dude, the library had so many jokes. Like, oh, what do you got against library? She's like, yo, I've seen books before. Like, I wasn't that impressed. I'm like, oh yeah, my bad.
I love how she owns it. She owns those. She owns her everything, dude. She's the best. Definitely for sure.
But yeah,
One of my
like,
top characters.
amazing way they added a character and made her feel so natural to the core
Yeah.
cast.
Yeah, for sure. Because now that I didn't really think about that until you mentioned it. Like, yeah, she was added later on and not from the beginning. And it's like you can't have the Aang gang without Toph. It's like, no, she's part of it, dude. It's like, hold up, she needs to be there. But eventually they meet more waterbenders, unless we're missing anyone from the Earth really that we want to mention.
Well,
I don't-
just
nothing
quick
comes
shout
to
out
mind.
to my boy Haru.
I didn't even care about him, dude.
I know, but he's cool, man. He,
Are we
he
talking
comes
about-
back with style.
That's why I lost his respect, because that shit look fuck.
That's But dude, earthbending is based off the Chinese, and that was a Chinese mustache and
They
beard.
just drew it
in
on
case you didn't
weird.
know
It looked
that,
like
man.
that. I know. I understand.
I like how you're just trying to bait him. I like how you're just trying to bait him. Like seeing your smile, and then like as soon as you said that, they're like, okay, let's see how this goes. Let's
That's
see how this
fine.
goes.
And I understand. Oh, okay, this is all I say. They just
it's like
didn't
how
draw
it-
it really well on him. It just doesn't look natural on the character design
We
itself.
won't go too in depth into season 1 characters, but they had some pretty fun ones, like the fortune teller was.
Oh
funny.
yeah. You're right. I'm
What
sorry. I did
about
forget a
Jet and
few.
Smellerbee?
Let's go back.
Oh
a
yeah, we
little.
can't skip Jet, man.
I'm sorry. I did
Because
go
he's
ahead.
gonna-
Yeah,
he's
you're
gonna
right.
come back.
Jet was so you see a bunch of
Fighter.
freedom fighter. You see a lot of just freedom fighters. They don't have any bending, and they're just normal people fighting back against the Fire Nation. Which is Jet is leading them. Someone else can take.
Hold
that
up, we
control.
forgot one very essential character that we did skip, and she's in episode 3, and she's Sergio's crush.
It's true.
We skipped skipped over.
Who do we skip?
Well,
Suki.
I'll be fair. She's in episode 4.
Oh,
Kyoshi Island.
Kyoshi
Suki,
Island.
man.
I'm sorry. I
You gotta
did go
bring up
ahead.
Suki real quick because she
You're
does
right, you're
return,
right.
and
She
she
does
is the
return.
greatest, best girl.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, see all this stuff. I'm like, yep. I didn't rewatch book 1.
Well, she's
Don't
the
worry,
girl
we'll
with the
tell you.
fan.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
so I'm sure
as soon
you
as you
at least
said the
seen-
name, I remember. But I'm like, where did we meet her?
Yeah.
Like all the events from book 1. Now I'm like, oh, I only remember the back end.
Well,
Fair
basically,
enough.
they go to Kyoshi Island, and you find out this is Avatar Kyoshi's where she's from.
One of the former
Yeah.
avatars,
Yeah.
Sir Island.
Yeah,
you
and
meet Froth.
one of the
guy.
best characters ever. Oh my
You meet him
god.
again in season 3. He's the guy that every time he shows up to the island, he goes, "Whoa!" He's
like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!"
He gets so excited.
See,
he just
see,
passes
I,
by.
I forget like
Oh,
the minor
shit, yeah, I
characters.
forgot.
No, he was
bring
in
it.
season 3.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll bring it up. Don't worry. But no, they meet the Kyoshi Warriors, who is led by Suki.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you take that because
And
she's your
we'll
favorite.
just talk about this, we're not gonna get into episode by episode, but this is one of those things where low key, my man Sokka, who we all love, is kind of like a woman-hating misogynist a little bit.
He gets
he's
put
like,
in this place.
yeah, he's low key a douchebag. He's like, man, y'all some woman. What the hell y'all gonna do?
Yeah, and then they beat his
and,
ass.
and then they make him wear a dress and beat his ass while wearing a dress, which is, hey, yo, don't king shame, but I'm kind of down.
Not wrong.
But yeah, but like I said, we won't draw on it too much because there's so many characters. What was the chick that has the smelling thing? Jade, I think, or
Jen.
Jade. No, I think it was Jade.
we disrespecting her, but she was cool. She has like a giant creature
I'll
that can
look it up
smell
real quick.
things.
Oh,
Anyway,
her. Yeah, I just remember her from book 3.
She is in book 3.
But I remember
Or
book
was
2.
it June? Was it June?
It's June. It's June. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's just so many interesting
Yeah, June.
characters that they throw in here and there. You don't know if they're gonna be important or not. You don't know if they're gonna return or not.
And
Cabbage
that's Cabbage
Cabbage
for sure.
man.
But just a quick shout out to the creators because even though they're so like minor characters for like June and all, they're very interesting enough that they're memorable. It's like they're not just throwaway characters. Oh, we need someone to fill this role. Like just throw this. Like no, they're actually well thought out. At least through my eyes, they're well thought out.
Except for the characters from the Great Divide.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one's pretty bad actually.
Hey.
But,
Yeah, but they do, like you said, they
anyways,
do make
besides
they made great use of all their cast.
Yeah.
They just didn't write someone and then just like, okay, we're done.
Yeah, and that's not
Yeah,
not
whenever
even.
we
This
saw
is
them, it
just
made sense.
Yeah, this is just mentioning the minor characters. Like I said, we mentioned it. Like we keep re-mentioning it, but all the main characters, the main ensemble is like amazingly written. So, shout out.
Yeah, when we talk about main ensemble, we're talking about all the kids and how they have fucked up life. But let's give a quick little talk about Iroh in season 1.
Oh god.
In
'Cause
season
he's-
1 only.
Well, just for
'Cause-
now, yeah,
okay,
because right
alright.
now you just meet him and he's
Book one,
kind of
bro.
like he's Zuko's uncle, who's just kind of his caretaker. It looks like he's just there for the fuck of it. Like he's
Oh,
like,
let me-
I'm gonna chill to go drink some tea,
Yeah,
make
so
some pie show,
you see
and
this
babysit
old
you.
man with a big beer belly,
Yeah,
and that's essentially what
got
you
that gut,
he imagined.
fat bod.
Hey,
That's essentially
but he's
what-
well groomed.
Yeah, you're
his
right.
Beard's on point. His
That
hair's
shit
done.
sounds
He's right.
Everything. He's
So-
very
Top knot
regal.
is fire.
It is pretty
He's
fire.
top
So
notch.
you basically get that character. What you see is what you get. At least in book 1. You definitely get to some more insight later, but he's definitely like that. What would you call it to Zuko? His
His teacher. Let's be
the
completely honest.
mentor, man.
He's
his
like
mentor?
his mentor character.
his net, I guess. His net to Zuko's fire. Or something. That's not, there was something that I
He's his
couldn't put it
mentor
together.
and primary support. Like
Yeah.
that is basically
Emotional
what sums
support.
up-
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, and at first you meet him, he's just kind of the goofy old man who
Yeah.
forgets that he has like a tie show hidden in his pocket, so they go through a pirate adventure, and he gets kidnapped while in that bathtub because he falls asleep. Like you think he's comic relief, and you think he's kind of just there, and it's up until that season finale where he breathes fire through his mouth that you
You're like,
see he's a
whoa.
badass.
Yup.
Like, holy shit, what happened? How did we get here? But yeah, you're right.
But just a quick
Respect on
little,
his name.
we're gonna talk about Iroh a lot because my man's
That's my boy.
that's our boy.
He's
That's
deep.
our uncle.
He's deep. He's deep. But yeah, no. What else? Minor characters that we missed from book 1? We got Suki, Cabbage. Matt, does he show up in Cabbage 1?
Yeah, he's episode.
Cabbage
He's
Man.
episode 5. Omashu.
Oh
Hey.
God.
King Boomy.
King Boomy, old buff ass motherfricker.
Oh, Grandpanku.
Grandpaku.
Yeah, he's the racist waterbender. No, the sexist waterbender.
Well, that's what I was getting to
Women.
once we get to the
Oh,
north.
that's it,
But
yeah,
I was just
we're
trying to
back.
knock out all the other
Besides
ones.
that, you got the guy who builds blimps and his wheelchair son.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh,
the one?
From
you know
the-
what?
that's
Before
season
we
one.
get into it, just jumping into Ang, 'cause I
See,
really
when
like.
when you bring that guy up. I'm like, oh yeah, I saw everything you're bringing up. I'm like,
Because a lot of them do return.
they show
man.
up on 3.
Yeah, so
both 3.
I just want to take
He's
a.
in season 1, episode like 17.
Because they
It's a
were
fact, bro.
it's his favorite series.
It
Yeah,
really
and
is.
they
Okay,
they
Cora.
took over the air temple. Like
Yeah.
as soon
Yeah.
as you mention these
Oh, you remember
events,
that one, nice.
like
Nice.
it's triggering my memory. Like, oh, they were at this place.
Yeah, so-
like I can't remember the episode, but I could remember
Yeah,
the
yeah,
location.
yeah.
So going back to Ong a little bit because sorry, I just
Ong.
speaking Ong. If anyone doesn't know, I'm just making fun of that live action movie when I say that. But I do
Okay.
like that aspect of the point of view when Aang sees like all these people essentially desecrating all is this the right episode I'm thinking
Yeah,
about?
yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is a little disrespectful
Okay,
when
and-
you think about it, but you got to
But
remember.
yeah, they do explain it
that
to
thing's been
him.
abandoned for 100 years, and
Yeah.
they're refugees. They got nowhere to go.
Yeah, so I really like that they
So you
showed the
get both
Ong side.
sides.
Yeah, so I really like how they had that. It's like you see, because he's literally everything that happened to him. Okay, maybe it's not yesterday, but in a sense, it literally just happened like yesterday or a
him,
week
it
ago.
feels
Yeah.
definitely.
And just like yesterday, he was talking to all his homies, and now all of a sudden he comes up. It's like me going home, and then I have like a bunch of strangers like in my house. Like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on?
it's our room
so-
now. Get out.
Basically, yeah. And of course, they were
Shout
a lot
out to
nicer.
Fry from Futurama. Wakes up 1,000 years later. He's like, Yo,
Yeah,
what's going
exactly.
on, man?
That's exactly, and I really like how they explore that. They do show both sides, so it's not just one side where Aang gets pissed off and kicks them all out. There's a reason they're there, and the reason why they're doing all of this because they're just trying to survive, and eventually he comes to understanding. So this is, I think, another very important growing or maturing point for Aang. I don't think
Yeah,
that's the right
it's,
word.
it's
but
kind of him like accepting, you know what, it has been 100 years.
yeah, my people's is gone. I'm the last one, as
Like
far
I
as I
am,
know.
and I gotta fix this shit because these people are refugees. And,
Yeah.
you know,
So
they're
it kinda
not-
drives
they're
it
not doing
home.
this for malicious intent.
Yeah, it drives it home, and I really like that. I just want to go back because I thought that was a really important moment for me.
Yeah, I guess we should talk about the season 1 finale because that's kind of where the show really.
Do you want to
really
go
gets its
to
legs.
waterbending real quick and mention Paku?
Oh well, yeah, because they make it. The
Yeah,
last
yeah.
3 episodes are.
Yeah,
all
oh,
in the
you're right.
North
You're right.
Pole.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so
Yeah.
they eventually make it to the fuck. I always forget
North
if it's
Pole.
North
North
Pole, and you find out.
There's only 2.
Yeah,
No, I always
Yeah.
get them mixed up. I always get them mixed up.
Yeah, there's only 2.
I always say South Pole when I should say North Pole, and North Pole when I should say South Pole. But it's such a huge contrast because in the beginning you have Sokka and a Katara in like this little ringy dingy town.
The little dumpy.
and
with-
there's a reason for
Yeah,
that. There's huge reason
Rusty
for
Rusty
that.
totally like put me in my place last time we
Yeah,
had this.
man, when we started recording this, he was roasting the poor little southern water tribe.
Because it was just
Holy
hilarious.
shit.
Like, I was like,
He
damn.
was roasting it. I was like, dude, they got little poor teepees in the town made of snow, but they explain it. You should know this.
I'm like, they were there through all that aggression, Fire
I know.
Nation aggression.
Like,
They're like,
all
you're
their-
a splinter group from the north, so you're not, connected to your people, immediately. You have to transverse all the world for
Yeah.
backup.
Could
We're
have
gonna
taken
go
Uber,
get
but
you.
whatever.
We're
Just
gonna
kidding.
kidnap all your waterbenders.
Yeah.
And all your men are gonna leave for war. Come on, Doc. Quit roasting.
You put me in my place, right? It's fine. But no, it's funny because there is that huge difference. And when from what I remember watching it, I wasn't expecting that huge shift because when I thought of the Water Nation, I just thought of like where Katara and Sokka are from, and it's nothing. Then you get to this, and it's essentially a kingdom. It's like holy shit, what the fuck happened here?
Prejudice.
Huh? Prejudice a little bit. You're right. I'm sorry. It's just I got put in my place already. If you want to do it again, soon, by all
I'm
means.
just saying, man. Don't disrespect that. The one nation who's actually fighting in the war, man.
Yeah, so essentially, what the conclusion that I got from coming back from Sergio is essentially fuck the northern water type because they ain't they ain't helping their homies
Yeah,
in the
they're
south.
just hiding and chilling
Yeah.
with their ice caps and all that, busting the Titanic busters out there, man.
For real.
But yeah,
That,
Go ahead and
then
take that
if
off.
you don't like them enough already, you find out they're like all sexist and women
Oh,
can't learn
nah.
waterbending. Yeah, no,
They
That
can't learn
really
fighting.
killed me because you see Katara, right? Like
Yeah.
just holding them down with the water bending them, just getting them through all this stuff.
Mhm.
And she ends up going there, and they're basically telling her, "No, you're not good.
you
enough
gotta go learn
because you're a
healing.
woman, not because of your skill. Because
Yeah.
you're a woman."
yeah, they're like, go become a healer. It's like, bruh.
It's like, I bet, and it just whoops her ass. But yeah, that's
Sokka's like, low key, he right, man. Women deserve less. I'm like, Sokka, learn your lesson. He's the one Sokka's still a little, you know.
Oh my
still a
god.
little sexist too.
Shout out to, for me, forever best girl is the Moon Spirit,
Princess Yue.
Princess Yui.
Yeah, at least remember her name though.
I totally did.
Yeah, I did.
I'm like, I can't even roast
If
you.
you
on
didn't
forgetting
say
names.
anything, like Marcus would have called me out, that bastard.
No, that's why I said Princess Yue, because I know you forgot.
I know you actually called me
Yeah,
out.
I forget half.
No,
these
you
characters'
did.
Names.
Don't worry. I
The
rewatched
Zog on
the
my
show,
back.
like once a year since it came out. So,
But for me, I think
I
Princess
remember.
Yui is for sure like one of the best girls. And then I'm sad that Sokka didn't end up with her.
Well, she
He
had
did.
important stuff to do.
What are you talking about? You got a kiss?
He gone.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
He gone.
Dude,
It's war, bro.
Okay, let's talk about how
Let's be
Sokka's low-key a douchebag.
Yeah,
he kissed
'cause-
an engaged woman, though.
Yeah.
It's love, bro. It's love. She went for it, dog. She didn't love the other
She told
guy.
him no at one point in time, and like
She did not want the other
Yeah,
guy.
She was like, hey, yo, you know what? I'm going to not be a piece of shit until you I'm engaged. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to be assigned to be your bodyguard because bodyguards are mad sexy. So shout out to my boy Sokka, but he's a little bit of, you know,
Hey, what's that saying?
in season.
For real, it's like,
So suspicious.
all is fair in love and war.
Oh, that's right.
He's right.
You know, shoot your shot,
He's
people.
right, dude. He had to shoot a shot because come on. She clearly didn't want to. They were forcing her to do something she didn't want to.
Look, man, he did not. He's like, this wasn't even a breakup. She basically turned into the moon. Imagine if he never took that shot. He would have never been on the
It's
moon.
true. It's true.
Actually, if he never took that shot, I think we would have lost the war.
Okay.
Oh, shit, you're right. There you go.
But you know what? Him taking a shot she also made him be like, hey, yo, you're a little sexist and misogynist, you're a little toxic masculinity.
Put him in
type
his place.
shit going on.
But I just wanted to mention that what ends up happening to her is she has to essentially give her
let's
life
talk
back.
about the final two
Oh,
episodes.
okay.
Where
Well, I'm sorry. I
the
thought you
Fire
just wanted to run her
Nation,
off.
They
Yeah.
crew up, man. They get the boys. Are like, yo, we going to the North Pole. They're like, yo, don't do Santa like that. Like, no, we getting the benders. Like, all right, bet. Oh man, they get a crew.
No, but
They attack.
you're getting they go specifically to get Iroh.
They do hire Iroh.
Yeah.
And they kill his son too. Well, his nephew too.
They kill him. He's dead. He never comes back.
Yeah, so
End of story.
quick little synopsis. They pretend to kill Zuko, but you know that shit ain't real.
I know. But
Well,
you're
yeah,
right.
they invade, and
They
this
squad
where
up.
this where they explore more of like the spirits
Mhm.
and how much they're actually connected to the world. And you go into the spirit world, you meet that creepy ass dude that steals faces.
Oh,
God,
the face
dude.
stealer?
Creepy,
Cole
bro.
the face stealer.
Oh
man.
my God.
Oh, God.
And
Thing
you're
was-
like, yo, this show's mad creepy when they show that monkey with no face. That's just
Mhm.
like
That
ready for
centipede.
that.
That centipede body, man.
Centipede body.
I
He's
did
not
not
ready
like
for
it.
that, dude.
Honestly, this was like when we got to the last 3 episodes, this made me realize that the stakes were actually real, and it wasn't just like, oh, okay, Aang maybe will be able to do this. I was like, oh no, this is an actual challenge that he has to face.
yeah, everything goes up a bit more in this episode.
It does, but once they start explaining waterbending and people having power, like higher power, when the full moon is there, I'm like, you have a whole nation of waterbenders. Couldn't they just tsunami and stop all them boats? That's
would-
just my criticism there.
No, you would think so, but
You know-
I don't think they're strong enough to do that. Even
Also-
even in
It's
the full
also
moon, they might be, but
Also,
it's also the Fire Nation gets stronger in the
yeah.
daytime. So
I think
It's
it's
also explained in book 3 from the
haven't got there
waterbenders
yet.
that got taken, that they found out that there's not a lot of water in the Earth Kingdom. I mean, in Fire Nation Earth Kingdom.
Mm.
Wait, repeat that?
Yeah,
There's not a lot of water?
there's not a lot of water from the bend. Like, it's.
Oh no, but we're talking about the invasion. Like they could
yeah,
make
no,
it
it's going on Eddie's point. I mean, Big E's point why didn't they just make a giant tsunami and wipe them out? There's not a lot of water. Like, you think about where.
yeah, if they could make a giant tsunami, there is a mad uphill thing, and they've established they're not that strong to make a. It took what we're about to talk to. It took the ocean spirit itself to make a giant wave that size.
Yeah.
So benders themselves can't really do
And
that.
I think also this happens a lot. And I
But,
think it just
okay, so just I'm gonna get stuck on this, but just to show, but you can make waves strong enough to basically separate yourself from a boat. So I'm thinking, you don't have to do the biggest tsunami, but you could capsize boats. You know,
yeah, potentially. Yeah. I'll
Okay.
see that.
You know,
I'll
see
give
that.
you that.
I think
But-
getting technical, I think that just goes a lot with this happens in a lot of shows where they have
They-
not the budget to
it's-
really draw everything, and so they make
Yeah.
everything
No,
shorter
plus
scale.
I'll say that they're kind of cheesy. Where Kataro's like 14, but she's a waterbending master.
True.
You gotta remember, not everyone's a waterbending master. Even the soldiers that fought in the war, some aren't just soldiers; they're waterbenders, but they're not taking waterbending masters.
Mhm.
All these kids are fucking prodigies. Let's just say, hey, it's a TV
Okay.
show, so
Yeah.
low-key, all these kids
Yeah,
are
you're right.
prodigies.
You're right.
They're all low-key masters, so that's the one that if you're gonna nitpick the fact that all these kids turned out to be like some of the strongest benders at teenage years already.
okay.
Technically,
Fair.
the one I
Fair.
could believe the
Fair.
most
Fair.
would be Toph, because she has the most, like, I think the best. She was taught the best. I think that's the one I believe the most.
Well, Toph's the strongest. They explain Toph's the strongest because she's blind.
Yeah,
and she's
so
learned
that's
how
why
to
I
use
believe
that.
the most.
So that one
From the
makes sense
spirit
why
animal.
she's so strong.
Yeah, but you're right. Let's
But
not
then you
nitpick
do-
on that
then
because
you
it
do
is.
gotta accept that. Hey, yo, Katara's 14. She's kind of a waterbending master.
Yeah.
Angus Toph, he's the Avatar, so it's kind of fair. But Zuko and Azula are like 16 and 14, and they're both pretty like
OP.
almost pretty much firebending masters. At least
But
Azula is.
but I think on Suka and Azula, it's they're royalty, so they're elite. You know, they have
yeah,
the
they got
best
that
training.
special training.
Yeah,
they
you're
got
right.
that
From
special
kids.
training. So that's all said and
Yeah.
done right there. For them, it's like they were basically geared to be in those positions.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
And-
I'll say the only thing is that Katara went from knowing nothing to being a waterbending master.
And that
That's
did-
the only thing you could say. 'Cause
Yeah, that
is
did
kind of
happen a little
weird.
too fast too, Loki. Like if you in the grand scheme of things, it
Yeah.
may be a couple months. So, yeah, like honestly, I guess we're still on that part. Just get this out the way. But normally, that's why I hate a lot of shows with child protagonists because they become badass overnight. But I didn't really feel it in Avatar for whatever reason because I was like, okay, I can
Yeah,
deal with
because
this.
Avatar they established, hey yo, he's got these spirits inside him that teach him things.
Yeah, so
And most,
And-
but that is a I think that's a valid criticism that you can nitpick at because that happens all the time whenever I see a child protagonist, Loki.
not to like hash your point, but you actually see them struggle in the series.
That's true too.
like Katara. When she
Well, no,
learned-
that's what I'm saying. Like Avatar, I think is cool. Like it just
I'm
works for
saying,
me.
like you see Katara struggle at learning waterbending,
Mhm.
so it makes it less believable if you just jump from the beginning to North Pole that she's a waterbending master.
That's true. That's true. All right. Well, I think that's enough of that nitpick because I can go on for days.
yeah, that, yeah.
But no, it's a valid thing to be brought up because it's true.
They struggle with depicting like, hey, this is like probably the highest point you could be. I guess the best time you see it is every time Angus in the Avatar state. That's literally the best any bender could be. But it's still kind of like, well, she does separate those two balls. That was a little like, girl, you're a little strong, man.
You're right. You're right. But it's a valid criticism for sure because I know it turns off a lot of people from the show, at least me. But we can go on for a long time on that. That's all I got to say about that. I didn't mean to attack anyone. Oh,
No,
I
no.
didn't come off like I was attacking.
And I was just trying to explain why potentially it's impossible.
Please don't jump me after this. It's gonna hear like a.
Because then you could say, why don't the Earthbenders just bust a Patrick and take the Fire Nation and push it over?
Imagine.
Well, not even like no. But
I'm
you know,
being
my whole
facetious on it.
thing from the I know the whole thing from that criticism is like, yo, your whole nation is like built on ice, and you clearly bended it to be how it is. You know, the architecture and
yeah.
everything. So that's why it really did strike a nerve seeing that, yo, they're on your home turf, and you could literally raise these waters and you have water cannons like you.
That's true.
You have, the technology in your city. I'm pretty sure you would have fortified your port in some way. So I'm like, you know what?
Especially knowing who their enemy was.
Yeah, exactly.
For precautions.
So I'm just like, you know what? Okay, like that. I could forgive it, but I just wanted to point that out.
Well,
For me, that
look,
battle,
Let's just say this. No,
And
let's
it's
just say
climactic.
this. Just like
Yeah.
Sergio told me, they've been hiding all this time. They're fucking wusses. They don't got the nuts the South Tribe
I'm a
has.
sim for Avatar, so I'll defend that one last time and say they probably haven't faced the boat technology with the new armaments, catapults, and hook lines that they've been using on them. They probably figured they were going to use Fire Nation. They didn't know all this
It's actually
all this factory engagement.
bad, Jay.
Yeah. All this factory engagement happened, so maybe they weren't ready for those mechanical ships because they
Okay,
have rats
so,
themselves.
all right.
and they have been hiding. They secluded themselves, and they do bother me as a people for being wusses. I'm calling you out, North Pole. But I do
No, you
understand
Santa,
why
you
maybe,
good.
because even General Jong's like, yo, this is the biggest fleet we got, and I could learn how to beat up Lois, but if he shows up with if he
10
shows up with a
allowance.
squad, I'm like, all right.
Well, okay, so it's
Which I would, cause fuck that.
I see. It's basically new technology, and they're like, "Yo, what's the vulnerability?" And at that moment, they couldn't think about it.
Yeah.
And that's so it was their cut off guard. Okay.
Plus, you could
Got you.
probably also say the Fire Nation has been in 100 years of war, so they got like seasoned warriors, and if you're in the North Pole hiding out, even your best guys don't have that much experience fighting.
That is true.
But I'm just saying this because I'm a sim for Avatar and I defend
Well,
it.
Yeah, you don't have
anytime
to.
I
You don't
get
have to back him on
it. I
that.
don't feel bad. I'm so sorry.
It's brought up in the episode when they're like, "Hey, the Fire Nation's attacking," and they showed like the North Pole shows Fire Nation armor. And stuff.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
that's true.
hey, yo, no,
Oh yeah,
whoa,
he's
that's
like,
not-
Oh,
he's
that
like,
is so
he's
true.
Like, that shit's so old. Look at these points, and lucky they got that shoulder point from like the 80s. So, hey,
Oh my
that's-
God! Yeah. Now
But
that you mention that,
that's
that is
also a
so
very
true.
Valid point.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah. So they just weren't ready for that heat, I guess.
Yeah, and you know,
Prepared
they're like,
for the
they're
heat.
like, yo, we learned how to box. This fool kicks now. What the?
That's illegal,
Oh.
ref.
But I
Ref.
do agree with Eddie. You think they would have fortified better, but
Yeah.
it looks like they were kind of just being like, they're like, hey, we're living our best lives. There's no war. They're kind of busting a boxing save, which we'll talk about right now.
Oh, that is
We'll
so
talk about that
true.
later.
Okay, everybody's
But
basically
before,
holding
yeah,
up.
let's
Yeah.
get into how they repel him. I think that's what you're trying to
Yeah,
get at.
so pretty much, Zhao is crazy. We didn't talk about him, but he's like the second antagonist to Zuko's antagonist.
And he's crazy.
And he's like, yo, I'm gonna kill the moon spirit because I know it's out there, and the moon powers the waterbenders.
And I've been to a library. All right.
To a library, homie. I read, and everyone's like, yo, what the fuck you read, bro?
Go down to the reference section. You know what I'm talking about.
Like, low-key, he's like, what? Like, what the fuck? What's this guy reading?
And, like, I used that Yui thingy, man. What's that shit you guys used to mark?
The
where
Dewey
all the
Dewey Decimal
the
System.
decimal system.
I know how to read numbers, bro.
Now you obviously tell I don't go to the library because I'm not putting that work. But yeah. So Shang's like this, as evil as Zuko is. Shang's like the older, like I'm already an asshole, no redemption type.
He
of
gave
asshole.
into it.
So he shows up.
Fun fact: he was John John's student.
That's
Yo,
true.
facts. We did not mention that.
Yeah, we didn't. I guess real quick, he didn't. What was his name? Not John. His General Shao.
Zhao.
I was looking at you.
Oh no! Well, I was like, who are you trying to?
General
have? The guy
Zhao.
we
I'm
just
sorry.
named?
I was just gonna say General Zhao is basically all that Zhao Zhao hates in a Fire Nation. It's like he embodies what he hates essentially to the teeth. But yeah. Anyways. That's all that
Yeah.
was.
So when Zhao shows up, he mollywops the moon spirit because it's a poor fucking fish. And yeah, the sun, the moon disappears, and then luckily that's where we lose Princess Yui because some of the life of the moon was put in her as a baby because she was stillborn.
I need some more like oomph in that.
Well,
dog.
that's my depression talk because I did like her too, despite Suki being better.
Hey, this is
But yeah, so
this is Iroh's turnaround point. This is when you definitively know Iroh isn't.
yeah,
with the
that's
Fire
when you
Nation.
find out Iroh. He's like, yo, Iroh's low key Aranor, man, because he loves the spirits, he loves natures, and he doesn't like all this shit.
Mhm.
And that's where he proves it. But before Yui sacrifices herself, Aang goes beast mode with the ocean spirit, and they mollywop boats and kills. It was technically the ocean, but let's be real, man.
He did. That's not even front.
A lot of people died that day.
Yeah.
He did a ship with a ship.
And it's a kids show, so you're not gonna see any deaths, but people died.
At least on
shout out to
screen.
Jet. Yeah. shout
Oh.
out to
At least on
Hey
screen.
dog, you don't know that.
But yeah,
Hey.
so this is another thing to establish how powerful Aang is, but also how serious this war might be.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then Zuko and Iroh go on the run again because they managed to escape. The ocean consumes General Zhao. And that's season 1, man.
Yeah, that shit was dark.
Now we could jump to season 2, which is way fresher for Big E.
I like how we said we weren't gonna do this
I
season
know.
by season. I'm like,
But we
okay,
go-
I guess we're doing this way now.
Because I just like dude, the season 1 finale. I feel really kicks off the show because you said season 1's very
Oh,
kiddish.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
the season finale where it's a whole siege and Princess Yue dies technically, and
She becomes one with the moon
you see a giant thing. That's what really kicks off the show. Like,
Zuko
oh
almost
man,
dies
shit's
too.
gonna happen.
That's true.
Yeah, like honestly, the ending of the first season is where you're seeing everybody's I would say their goals. You know, more clearly, and you see how
establishes
serious
where they
they
lie.
are about accomplishing these goals. Like you see Zuko basically kidnap Aang while he's in the Avatar state and dragging him God knows where.
Yeah,
in the
even
North
Iroh
Pole.
tells him if you weren't found, you're probably gonna freeze to
Yeah,
death. You
it's
got
like-
no plan. You're a
What was
dumbass.
this thing? Yeah, it's basically
Yeah.
you always act on your something.
He's
Just
like,
to
you
come,
always
but you
go in
never
without
know
no
what
plan.
you're gonna do. Yeah.
We forgot about something.
Uh,
We forgot
What
about the
was it?
Blue Spirit. Oh, my bad. We sure did forget
Oh,
about the Blue
yeah,
Spirit.
we're trying to not go episode by episode because
Oh, yeah.
that's how me and him messed up. But
Yeah.
And
Blue Spirit's
so
dope, though.
Yeah,
I
it's pretty
freaking love.
you find out too cool.
Yeah,
Swords.
Yeah, basically, I love seeing that interaction, and like you guys said, Iroh,
think you
like
need to-
showing how Iroh. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's
Yeah,
okay.
showing how Iroh definitely is not your stereotypical Fire Nation guy.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
by
yeah.
simple things of like he wants to instruct his what is it, his
Nephew?
nephew Zuko, and always reminding him like, gotta keep a level head. I know you want these things, but these things take time, and if you want to accomplish them, you have to know exactly what your goals are. And I like seeing him and just how you said spiritual he gets when he's like, yo, you it's like, I know we want to win, but we shouldn't destroy the world doing
Yeah,
it.
I remember he tells him, he was like, whatever you do to that fish, I'll release on you tenfold.
Yes!
And you're
Oh
like,
my-
That was gangsta, bro. Oh, like,
energy
oh.
right there.
And you know he freaking could too, dude.
Yeah, that's true. It almost establishes everyone on how serious they are for their goals and
Mhm.
how they're gonna go for it. Like, even Aang, he destroys a bunch of boats. He's like, yo, man, like, no matter how many I destroy, there's so many. And they're like, yo, go, like, pray to the spirits. Maybe there's another way. Because this one establishes, like, yo, this just finna get real, man. That's why I like talking about the season 1 finale. Because it kind of resets the show and it restarts it again in a more, not even too more mature, but it gives it more meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I'd say like it establishes everything, and they followed through with it all the way till the end. Like you're not seeing like any storylines get left behind. They come back and they address it, and they do it in good ways, like pairing up certain characters together to let you know like they're working through a certain emotion.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, but like he said, we're supposed to not go through book to book, so we could talk about the other two more openly now that
Yeah,
we've
let's do that.
established, and we established the topic. You know, you're right though. That's literally what I was trying not to do.
I know.
My
I
bad.
get
G.
so consumed.
No, it's okay.
I was like, it was already
there's a
rolling,
lot
and I
of-
didn't want to like.
There's a lot of good
stop.
moments that we
Yeah.
gotta
But y'all
like.
gotta stop me, cause you gotta remember this is my baby show, man. This
Okay, Cora.
is my
Gonna
this
let
is
that
my
go.
show.
You're probably gonna go back and redub it, and when you say
Literally.
Cora, like Katara.
Well, it's literally a different. So all right, but yeah. Let's. After that, they established it. We said they do meet Toph, who will become his earthbending teacher.
Mhm.
Because Boomy tells her you gotta wait for someone who's patient, someone who like waits and listens. That's perfect Toph since she can't see, so she's gotta wait and listen.
Literally.
And they bring back Suki.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wasn't expecting that, to be completely honest.
Low-key, I thought they were gonna ignore her. I didn't know how many characters they were gonna bring back. But yeah, they bring back Suki during the Serpent's Path. Sokka's got some issues. I just would like to talk about Sokka. Because he wants to kiss him under the moonlight. And he's like, yo, Doc.
Oh yeah,
She's right there. I can't do that.
Oh, that was funny.
But yeah, season 2, book 2, pretty much is where they bring Asula,
The
the
giant drill.
psychopath crazy
Oh man, but
bitch.
she was. I liked her as an
Oh,
antagonist.
man. As soon as they brought her in, I was like, oh, this is my spot. It's just because she comes in just like such a bitch, and the first time you see her fight with the blue flames and her weird chest, like, bro.
As soon as I saw blue flames, I'm like, yo, her aggression is off the charts because, blue flames burn hotter than red. So when you see that, I already knew, man, she is danger.
She's crazy, and Rusty likes it.
Yeah, and at first you're like, oh, well, her squad's just 2 other chicks, but then the chi blocking thing that
Yeah.
Siley brings, mine just has a straight knife and shit, but you know what?
But she's super accurate and oh
It's
man,
like a ninja about it. But yeah, but I this one they start switching up Zuko, where he's not just like they go undercover, and Zuko starts like dying for being nice.
yeah,
Some of the funniest shit ever.
man, it's so good. I definitely
fun.
like how book 2 is all about Iroh teaching Zuko how to survive in the world, because he's showing him the world is bigger than the Fire Nation and our ideals.
Pretty
Why
much.
don't you take a step back from trying to just please your dad and enjoy your life because you don't know what's gonna come. You're so focused on
Honor.
on honor and the things that have gone wrong instead of enjoying the present moment and seeing where that present moment takes you.
That's true, because Iroh fits really naturally into being a refugee.
Oh yeah, because
Really
he's
does.
super cultured, so he's very knowledgeable of
he's
how to
been
like
everywhere.
blend into different societies.
Yeah, he's
And
so
it helps
funny.
that he's like the politest motherfucker.
I know.
And being part of that White Lotus group.
Hey, okay, White Lotus.
White
I like
Lotus.
how they started hinting that
Oh
all the time, and you're like, what the fuck is this pie showpiece?
What the hell is this?
It is
crap?
so dope. I like how Sokka got one from his master, and when I knew, I'm like, oh, that's why.
Yeah.
They're like, that's why,
Hey.
and it made sense at the end when they explained the White Lotus to you.
Yeah, because even his master is just like, then why did you teach us if you knew? Because the White Lotus member, well, the sword master was from Fire Nation. They're like, why'd you teach us if you knew we were from the South? Water Chase is like, yo, the arts belong to everyone, not to a
That was
culture.
so.
And I was there like,
Oh,
damn, man, for
yeah.
a kid show, that was deep. Yeah, that was deep for a kid show. I was like, Jesus.
Wasn't ready for that.
Low-key.
But no, you're right. They get to yeah. This is where I think this is some of the best moments. I think we're talking about the best moments where you see Zuko living and Iroh and Ba Sing Se, right?
Yeah, when they finally make it to Ba Sing Se, it's really nice just
Yeah.
seeing Iroh go from tea shop worker to tea shop owner. Yo, capitalism.
Yay.
Where
Pretty
you
much.
at?
So I guess I don't know if we're on them. I don't want to get too much in it because we might get in later. But I think for me, this is one of the best moments. And for me, I would have been okay. I wouldn't have been too mad if they had like an own series where it's just Zuko and Iroh trying to live out in this strange city, running a tea shop. I would have been down with that
Dude,
so hard
it was so good.
it was like there were just little moments, and I thought this was really sweet. And I like that girl that asked him out.
Yo,
I was
man.
like, oh, I really wanted.
I
them
like how
to-
Iroh really pushed him, and it's like, go.
Oh, Iroh's the one
Yeah.
that's like, yeah, he's gonna go on the state.
I was so down with that. I was like, dude, that would have been the best if they actually ended up together. And according to Rusty, they might have.
Well, it's not official, man. They
Not
never
official,
say
so-
in the sequel series
Well,
who
there you
the
go.
mother to his kids are. We could pray and hope.
But I really love those little moments. It's just like, because literally he's like a king from the kingdom that everyone hates, and he's living amongst like the enemy, and also Iroh because that's the city that he couldn't conquer, and now he's living there. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's when you get more backstory to Iroh, that he once was the only person to besiege the walls and break through the walls,
Mm-hmm.
but then he retreated because you find out his son did die.
Oh
during
man,
war.
talking about that's what I really like too about season 2 is that they even explore small little stories in one
Mhm.
episode. I can't remember the number, but it's in
He knows the name.
book 2 where they show basically Zuko's day.
I don't know what episode you're talking about.
Tales of
Iroh's-
Ba Sing Se.
Yeah, Tales of Ba Sing Se. Yeah, Iroh's little day around town. Oh my god,
Oh
that
my
one
God.
is the best. It's like
That hit me
you're trying
too
to
deep,
stick
dude.
me up. It's like, look at your stance. You're gonna get
Like, with
easily
that
knocked
stance,
out.
That show, just that little episode was so
Why is
deep.
like all
dude.
his interactions like with the little kids who threw the soccer ball through the window, like, hey, sometimes you just gotta own up to your mistakes. Homeboy's like, yo, I'm gonna break more than this window. Like, not today though.
Not
man."
to- yeah.
Deuces.
But even he knows
Yeah.
the dumb situation when there is one.
Deuces.
Definitely.
But dude, that hit so deep.
Yeah,
and
because he sings to that little crying boy, the marching
Little
boy,
soldier
please
boy,
come
yeah.
home,
Oh,
little
yeah.
soldier boy. And you're
Dude,
like, oh, that's a
that
nice
thing
song.
breaks you down at the end of the
Oh,
episode
God,
when
it does.
he's
All-
singing.
It was essentially his
Oh,
All the
son's
man.
resurgent
birthday.
memes are literally like, yo, man, everyone thinks they're tough till fucking Iroh starts singing.
Yeah.
So
It's like, oh.
it
Oh.
was essentially his son's birthday, and he went out to have a little picnic with his
Yeah, it
son.
would
And,
have been
Yeah.
his birthday.
and R.I.P. also. I know I shouted out last time, but you're not gonna put that up. But Mako,
The voice actor to Iroh
of
died before
Yeah.
season 3 finished.
Yeah,
Oh.
That's
so
why
shout
it
out.
says in memory of Mako.
Yeah,
Mm.
but anyways,
Oh,
you're right.
okay.
That overall, this season was really cool because what they introduced was a lot of like the politics of what's actually going
Yo,
on.
you think they finally make it to Ba Sing Se and shit's gonna be dope, but it turns out it's a weird, creepy city with
Yeah.
a lot of shit hiding and going on,
Mhm.
which I didn't expect, you know?
I did not. Dude,
No,
was
I
like,
didn't either.
Yeah, because they're like, yo, there's
I
no
didn't know
war
they're gonna
here.
go
We don't
that
talk
deep.
about the war. And
Yeah.
like, yo, dude, it's been 100 years.
It
What do you mean?
starts off
People are
with,
dying
what is
and
her
everything.
name? May?
It's just a drill outside.
Yeah, that's how they discover it. But it's weird how they're like, no, there's no war. They
Mhm.
bring back Jet to emphasize the fact where like they arrest him and brainwash him because they're like, yo, dog, there's no war.
What
Look,
war?
stare at this lamp, bro.
Yeah, that was dope.
That was
I-
creepy.
When you guys brought up Jet in in the first half of our discussion, I wanted to bring that up. I'm like, but we're already doing this book by book. I'll fucking wait. I'll fucking
Our
wait.
apologies.
But yes,
apologies.
like re-meeting a Jet. What was it? He was in the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, he meets
Refugee
Zuko.
ship.
Yeah, refugee ship.
Oh yeah,
stealing
yeah. They're in the
food.
refugee ship, and he likes him. He's like, yo, he could be one of us because he's
Yeah.
been scarred by a Fire Nation. But then he sees Iroh heat up the tea, and you could see his
Yeah.
face when he sees that. He like the
He's so
expression, 'cause
triggered.
He,
He's just
he
like-
just hates
Yup.
the Fire Nation die.
Which is, his hate is valid.
Hey, that tea fight. The fight at the
That's why I
tea
wanna
shop.
bring it up,
Oh
man.
my
The
god.
sword fight,
The
the
two
hook
swords?
swords versus the other swords that Zuko has. Yo, that thing was sick.
That was so good that Zuko remained calm. He wasn't a hothead. He knew he had to stay
Which
undercover.
is essentially in
no
his character
fire.
description, I'm sure, is a hothead, and he
No,
definitely
Honestly,
kept it
remember,
together.
that's like the first fight. Zuko doesn't use firebending
Yeah,
to
'cause
solve his problems.
I was gonna say because he fights when he's undercover with the swords before the Earthbender with the hammer, but he has to resort to firebending with the swords. Do you remember that episode?
Oh, yeah.
Where the
With
little, kid, like,
Yes,
that he
yes,
gives the knife to,
yeah.
he's fighting him with the swords, but as soon as he realizes he can't win, he like busts out the flame,
Yeah.
spins. But this is the one time he was like, "Yo, I can't do this for shit. We're undercover." Uncle Ira was happy, and yeah, then the cops show up, the weird, creepy cops.
Yeah,
with
the-
the glove hands. Those shits are dope.
Yeah, that
I forgot what they're called.
they had the
Dai
dope.
Li.
Dai
The
Li.
Dai
Dai
Li was
Li.
Yeah.
they were an amazing police force. Even their uniform was more imperialistic than the
Yeah,
other
than everything
Earth
else.
people. It's like it was basically darker greens,
With
like
like
a
a
muted
black
yellow and
Brown, yeah.
And if
And a
I'm not
black piece in the
mistaken,
center.
I think there's some of the few firebenders that actually, earthbenders that wear shoes. Because, I don't know, it's just a little thing I noticed. I think they wear shoes, right? Because they're always
'Cause-
using their hands.
yeah, they used
that was
they
a
had
really
like
interesting
stone
thing.
Stone gloves.
Yeah.
plates on their gloves
Yeah.
and also on their feet.
Did they have it on their feet?
Yeah,
I didn't notice
Because
that.
they would. I think there was an episode where they shot them out to trap people.
I
from
thought it was
moving
their
too.
Yeah,
hands.
but
Okay.
most firebenders wear. I
I
mean,
mean,
earthbenders
earthbenders.
wear shoes.
Do they really? I always
Toph
see
is
most
the
of the
only one
ones.
she needs to do the size.
A lot of the
kick.
generals don't wear shoes that I've
Yeah,
seen.
yeah, but a lot of the soldiers.
Do
and the
they? I
uniforms
guess I
with the
didn't pay
brown
attention.
hats-
I
not
guess
all
the
of them,
only
but
time.
Not all of them. Like some
Okay.
of the ones that kidnap Iroh, I don't think they have shoes, but I think
Okay.
some of them do.
They also
Toph is
got
the
mixed.
specific case.
Gotcha.
'cause
Okay.
She has to
I guess I didn't
know
notice.
her.
I thought, for whatever reason, I just thought they were the only ones. Because I guess I didn't pay attention too much to the other ones.
Yeah, I always check the ceiling when I'm around caves because the Dai Li could be anywhere.
Yeah, but I like earthbending cities because they're pretty interesting. Like the first time you see Omashu, their mail system is on rock
Slides,
carts that
essentially,
they
yeah.
like push up and elevate to the second floors.
Mhm.
When they go to Boss Insane, the train is pushed by two earthbenders that guide it with
Yeah,
their feet.
basically using it as a scooter.
Yeah, which is hella dope, man.
Yeah. That's like a.
It's like the world bending little things they throw in there to
Yeah.
show how it's going. That's just stuff. They're like, wee, wee.
Man, they have like one buff ass cap, or
Yeah,
hopefully
like-
they switch off.
I would switch off, man. I'd be like, yo, dog, this ain't me. I'd be like, yo, dog,
Keep
I'm
it
gonna
even.
give,
Keep
I'm
it
gonna give
even.
it a mad kick and sit up for 2 minutes, man. I'm tired. And just
keep gotta even it out, bro. But they also have, because I guess what we find out is the king doesn't even know there's a freaking war going on. And
almost no one does, man.
Hey,
I think
Only
some of
the
them,
Dai Li.
some of them do.
Well,
Like,
only the Dai Li agents. Everyone else.
no, I think
literally-
some of the nobles, not all of them, especially the ones that come from the lower rings, know that there's a war, but they can't talk about it. So it's like it's strictly forbidden.
Well, yeah, because even Julie, their guy,
Yeah.
knows about it, but she's like, yo,
And then
what
they
the
also have
fuck?
that. The only
Julie.
reason I say this is because I remember the
Yeah.
neighbor from I think it was Avatar's neighbor
Oh
in
yes,
front.
that's true.
So you
he
do
wanted
see,
help.
at the very least, I think people that are coming in from the lower ones that know about the war, but they know they can't talk about it. But I think the most astonishing is the fact that the king doesn't know there's a war going on, and he's like, what? Like I'm gonna call him 18 because he looks pretty old.
I think
And for
he's
that,
like his mid-20s.
maybe there you go. He's that old and he's never heard of anything about a war. It's like that's insane. Holy shit, they've kept it from him for this long.
Because who was the guy who was in charge of the Dai Li?
I forgot his name. I know
Long
who you're talking
Feng, Young Feng, something Fen.
Yeah, well, he basically did a power grab in because
Yeah,
his parents passed away, and he's like, you know what, this is my chance to seize power, and one way to do that is to basically set up the legitimate ruler as a puppet,
Yeah,
so that he could
pretty
run the
much has
system.
to-
So in order to keep his power, he needed to convince him that there was no war going on, and that's why he created the Dai Li, and he also had the brainwashing camp set up, and definitely segregated the city towards just classes. So you got
Yeah.
the elites, you have the middle class, and then you have basically the working class people all segregated. Because if they were to mix, all that information would be free, because the people who feel like the economic hardships of war most are the working class people.
True
Yeah.
that.
So-
So I'll just say you with a quick little fun fact.
Long thing, by the way. This is
Long thing. I knew it was something
Yeah,
thing.
I looked it up.
Little fun fact though. It was Avatar Kyoshi that established the daily. Like,
Oh, okay.
No way, really?
yeah.
Did I miss that in the episode or is it in the comics?
I think it might be in the comics.
It was in the show for sure. I just don't remember what episode, but it's one of the Bossing Say episodes. They talk about it. It's also in the comics and in the book. So
Books.
there's a Legend of Kyoshi book. Second one comes out July 18th.
Like
So-
actual chapter novel?
Yeah.
Nice.
This chapter no.
Nice.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
But okay, I did not
And
know
how they
that.
were
Thank you.
corrupted too.
Thank you for that fact, dude.
But yeah, it's just a little fun fact. But yeah, she established them to like keep order and keep tradition alive because she was very stern in that way. But then they eventually did the wall where they could be manipulated type thing.
Mhm.
So that's just a little fun fact I want to throw out.
That's
But it is
that's
brought
a
up
good
in
one.
the show.
That is a good one because I did not notice that at all.
I completely missed that. Was that said somewhere in book 1?
He
No,
doesn't
it was
remember.
somewhere in book 2. It's just a passing thing whenever they talk about the Daily. Someone brings mention that they were established
Damn,
prior.
you're so good at this world building game, man.
It's because so many people just talk lines that sometimes you don't even think they matter, and then it turns out it's the whole thing. But yo, hold up. We're in Bossing Say, and let's just say my boy Appa got kidnapped.
Okay. All right. I know. Yeah.
I did try to make him a character, part of the Ang Gang, and I totally forgot about him too.
But yeah. Let's
I didn't
just
want to
say
relive sad moments. Come on.
no one. Yeah, Loki, that one hurts too. Appa's last days. Oh,
It is-
Oh
it's
my
pretty
god,
sad.
that episode.
Okay, here's the thing.
So good.
I wanted Ang to beat the frick out of homeboy that kidnapped him. It's like
He
you know
was
who
about
he is.
to.
He showed up.
He was
Katara
about to,
came
but His
in.
dad was right there, man.
Yeah.
You don't beat a son in front of his dad.
Yeah, you do when he's a little punk.
Nah.
Yo, it was gonna happen, but Katara told him like, "No, dude, you're forgetting yourself," and that was like his struggle in book 2. Was
But
just
yeah. But
being-
before they get to Bossing Say, they head there because also partly it's because Appa he gets kidnapped by some sandbenders, some dirty sand people. Shout out to
Star Wars.
I was trying to talk about Star Wars. What were they called?
Oh,
Something Raiders?
You might need to edit that.
Tusken
No.
Raiders.
Tusken
Tusken
Raiders. I'm
Raiders.
talking about them, not my people out here. We live in. But Appa, man, dude, Appa's last days was fucked.
It was. Oh man, his whole story about him being sold to Fire Nation circus was just cruel. And I wonder if it's the same circus that one chick was in.
I
You
think
know?
it was.
Might
I think
be.
it was.
Because
Yeah,
that-
because they did have a bunch of exotic
Ty Lee,
animals.
yeah, I
They
think
did.
it was.
Sula said, "Do you have exotic animals?" You say, "Yo, we got everything."
Just
I
put
think-
it on the field.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. Oh man, just they showed all the trauma that he sustained throughout the whole episode. Just how he was trying to resist being captured and being controlled by another human being
Yeah.
through aggression. He's like, "Oh, you're not gonna feed me? Don't worry. I could bend air. I could get anything I need."
Then he becomes afraid of fire, but then he meets up with the Kyoshi warriors, but they get ambushed by Sula and the gang, and they have this
Yeah.
fight, and they do that whole thing with the fire, get out of here, man. Then he meets that
Dude.
weird Gandhi dude.
Gurla.
Guru.
The guru.
I do not remember his name, so-
Was it in
I was gonna call him
the
Guru Lahima, but
what-
I know that's wrong.
what air temple was he in? West or
I think
or
South?
South or
I don't remember.
I
at
think
all.
what-
Aang is from the Southern Air Temple.
He might
that,
be East.
that was probably the Eastern one, because I think the Western one is the one that's under,
Yeah.
Oh,
which is sick as hell. With
hell
the-
yeah. I'm containing myself. I want to talk about it.
Yeah,
Just-
for real. But yeah, the because I brought up Appa is kidnapped because Zuko is the one who releases him. But at first he's gonna take him to probably do some evil shit to try and catch Aang. But then this when Arrow hits him like, "Yo, dog, quit being a bitch. It's now or never, man.
This-
Pick your destiny now, dude." He's like, "I know my destiny." He's like, "No, man, you think you know, but really think about shit."
And that's when he brings up he almost died in the snow, I think, right?
Yeah. He's all like, "Yo, you would have died in the snow." He's like, "No, I would have gotten my way out of it. I would have thought of something." He's like, "No, you always think you got this shit unlocked, but you's a bitch with a dumb ponytail." And then it's just like, it's watching that conflict where Zuko the whole time he's been like flip flopping, like when he defends that little Earth boy with the knife that he gives the knife to, he's been cool with him. he dates that girl. He starts trying to be nice, but then when he sees the first chance to kidnap the Aang's avatar, his bison, he's a bitch about it.
Yeah.
But that's really the big closing point where he really has to choose between
And
good
then-
and evil.
yeah, I
And
think he
chooses
And he
definitely-
good.
fucking fails.
Well, he technically
Whoa, whoa,
chooses
At the
good
end.
first.
At the end of
chose
it.
right at first.
He chose right at first, but then you find out Zuko's such a fucked up person. He has like he gets like a fever from being nice because Iroh's like, he's like, yo, your body is tripping out that you weren't a bitch for once. Which is pretty much what happened.
But you're right. What else happens in that little episode? I forget, but
We forget the one thing that always astonishes us: the bear.
shit.
Yeah,
That
there's
was
so many weird
hilarious, dude.
creatures in this show that there's a mixture, and then they're all surprised that
It's just a
the
bear.
King's bear is just a bear.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That part was low-key
That's-
hilarious.
Is it a platypus bear? Like, no, just a bear. Like, oh, it's
How about this duck turtle?
Duck turtles are cute as fuck. Yo.
Yeah, that combination. That's why I brought them up.
I
They were
want
the
a duck
most
turtle.
memorable, like, two animal
I'm looking it up,
combination
so I
I've
forgot what
seen.
it
And I'm
looks
like,
like.
you know what? That doesn't even look that bad.
That shit
I'm
was
behind
cute.
that.
Some I'm glad I don't exist, like the platypus bear. No,
Those
thank
spider
you.
things from
No.
the mountain.
There's like a
Oh,
tiger
fuck that.
mixed with a armadillo.
Yeah, they're fucking adorable.
I don't think I remember that one.
It was during the Tales of Bossing Say when they
It's
have
when-
like when they're building a zoo.
Oh,
When
yeah, that's right.
Aang
That's
is
right.
building a
Yeah,
zoo.
because they don't have space or some shit.
Yeah. But yeah. So pretty much, Zuko frees Appa. He finally chooses good, and he's living his best life because Iroh gets a dope ass tea house in the inner circle. But then Aang is sick of all this shit, so he's trying to get the king to finally go to war because they know about this black sun, the eclipse that's gonna
Yeah,
stop
they want to
firebenders.
start it. This is trying to instigate an invasion to the Fire Nation.
Yeah, pretty much during
the
that day.
eclipse.
But while all this is finally going down, they finally convince the king and the generals. Azula infiltrates Ba Sing Se, dressed as the Kyoshi warriors. Bitch, put respect on the uniform. You don't do that.
She's smart. I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad. I
She's
saw that
too
smirk. I'm
fucking
like,
smart.
ooh.
But yeah. This is all leading to the fact that Katara and Zuko get kidnapped. Zuko's leaning even more to the good side. But Aang shows up with Iroh. And they have a big ass fight with Azula and Zuko once again, because this becomes the Zuko show after a while,
Yeah.
almost pretty much. And Zuko once again has to be like, yo, am I gonna help out the Avatar? I already picked good freeing this bison, or I'm gonna be evil. And my man fails the test like a bitch.
He does.
It's I don't even blame him because he's been being conflicted about, you know, it's his country he's betraying, and it's also his family because it's like his family represents
So,
that country at the moment. So turning his back at his family is a very hard task, and for him to try to do it all at one time is too much. You know,
I think I was
letting an
talking
animal
to,
go
yeah,
is.
I was talking to my boy over here. Oh,
Can
sorry.
I finish? I'm like, I guess. And I'm like, shit.
Agni Kai. Just tell
Agni Kai.
I'm like, letting an animal go is an easier task to do than turning your back at your family, saying, I don't need you, and letting go of a support system as toxic as it is, that provides you with at least some shelter and even some prestige in his case, since he's royalty. It's like he freaking goes back and he's chilling, doesn't have to worry about a thing. He's fucking eating whatever he likes. He got servants all around. It's not you don't give power up that easily. And it's great to see that throughout the show, they do show his struggle, and he does want to be a good person, but he has to come to terms with what he truly wants, which is, you know, being respected and being a good person. But he has to give up the things that he has already, which is unchecked power. So I think, you know, like, we could criticize him a lot, and he did the wrong choice, but he's been struggling with that. And with the only good influence being Iroh, it's like, it's a miracle that he made it through that.
It's that jolliness. But no, what I was saying is I think in a sense, even though it's the wrong choice, I think it was an important one, because he does get to go home and he actually really gets to see the Fire Nation for what it is, you know, and who his father really is, and like, is this worth it? And then that's when he makes the ultimate decision, like, nah, this
Yeah,
ain't me.
because Albie brought this up earlier, that he gets to go back to the Fire Nation, but after having witnessed what the war did to the people and living amongst the people that the war is affecting. But I do like when he does choose the wrong side, when he's shooting fire, they really close in on his face, and he does look kind of distraught. They really animated that and drew it really well, where he looks like he's angry, not sure what he's doing. He's like, oh shit, did I mean to pick this? But he's already just punching
He's
fire, so it's like he made his choice.
Yeah, it was too late to go back, and I definitely agree. I really love that storyline when he goes back and he has everything that he ever wanted, even sitting
A
to
girlfriend.
the side. Well, I was gonna go. That was a part of it, but sitting on the side of his father in a war council, like that was, that was his dream. He wants to go back. He wants to be treated with equal respect and have all his honor back. And when he gets it, he's like, "Yo, I was chasing the wrong dream for a long time, and it took me possessing this dream to realize it's not right. It didn't fit right."
We just brought a girlfriend because everyone wants a moody goth girlfriend.
No, that's true though. not that part.
All right, but since we're talking about like Zuko and Iroh, we forget about the one thing that Iroh learned that saves the day: redirecting lightning.
Oh, that's true. I forgot.
Oh
about
yeah,
that.
that's really cool.
I forgot about
That was an interesting shit he taught him because Sula she's still like, yo, I could whip lightning, boy.
that. Actually, the lightning actually surprised me at the beginning.
And
I was like,
Yeah.
and he can't teach it to Zuko, but he's like, look, I'm gonna teach you something else I learned from studying the waterbenders because I'm cultured, bro. That's what he's trying to say.
Get it.
Yeah, that because that comes up later. But yeah, pretty much Zuko chooses evil. Aang tries to go into the Avatar state, gets shot in the back, loses his connection. Katara gets him out of there because Iroh sacrifices himself because he's already just disappointed. He's like, well, my whole quest, to him it seems like his quest fell because his quest was Zuko, so he kind of lets himself get captured. But it does help that Avatar escape. And season 2 just ends in such a downer, man.
I know.
You know how mad I was as a 8th grader having to wait like a year for this to be resolved?
Holy, this is why when I was watching it on Netflix, I'm like, I'm glad I wasn't watching this show when it was aired because these cliffhangers were crazy. As soon as I saw him,
like a year, man.
yeah, shot down with lightning, I'm like, they just said if he gets killed in the Avatar state, game over, bro. And I'm glad the next episode started playing because I straight up it
was like, bruh.
Yeah, the stakes for me were lowered at the end of that episode.
That is the benefit of watching a completed show. Not having to wait a year for the next season to
I was like, but wait, I'll figure out what happened in the next episode. It's all right.
No, wait, I don't have to.
And for me, it's like, I must go to the library and read the forums. Someone must know.
I'm being completely honest, season 2, right? That just bummed me out.
Yeah, dude.
No, because you know me, I've been on the side of Iroh for the longest. He did he showed us why he's the Dragon of the West.
Yeah, but then he gets
gets taken. I'm
by Dai Li. Aang is almost dead. It's like, damn.
$10 if he wanted to, he could have took them all down. I'm just
I think he could have.
Yo, he wasn't trained. He was just chilling. He was retired, just training his nephew.
He did kind of give himself up, and that's why I was saying I think he felt like he failed, and that's why he was like, you know what, I'll buy time because as soon as Katara escapes with Aang, he kind of does the whole little. Yeah. He does this little feng shui and gives himself up.
Because it's like, there's no point in me continuing to fight when I accomplished what I needed to accomplish. And at this point, it's just...
Yeah, and I'm sad. I don't need, I just need to be alone.
Yeah. How did this feel, though, Eddie? Because I had to wait a year to find out Aang had hair. And you had to just... The next episode auto started.
I know, we've always had, our differences with Castlevania. How you guys didn't like that time wasn't...
How time show...
How the time wasn't clearly stated in that show. And we've discussed it, and I at that moment we were all just trying to push our points, and I did, within the first couple episodes of that show, I was like, whoa, what's going on here? What's the time frame? And then I realized, whoa, they're in ancient times. A big event happened, and nobody knows exactly how much time has passed. You have a vampire who basically hardly sleeps, so he can't keep accurate time. You have two travelers who haven't stayed in one place in a long time to actually know, just by looking at the night sky, okay, if we're in this spot for this many years, we know this is the date. So I really like that in that show, but it does get confusing for people to keep up with those events. But I love that. I love having to piece in those clues. I'm like, we don't know what time it is. Everybody has that. And instead of saying we don't know the time, they're letting you know everybody else has a different time perception. So I enjoyed that. So with this show, seeing Aang have hair, I'm like, oh, it's been a while. He's healing. They're on a Fire Nation ship. That what else has happened? I'm like, is there a treaty? Did something happen with Iroh, or who's backing this up? And then just slowly learning that they've been getting by without Aang, and that was pretty dope.
Yeah. I was just shook because I was like 12, and I was like, yo, my man got hair. You've been rocking the cholo look. But
Line of dog.
in their defense, I think in the episode, Tulsa Bossing say they do show Aang shaving his head.
They
And
did.
Sokka saving his mustache,
Oh,
but
man, I
always
love
forgot
that.
Yeah,
I love
'Cause
that.
I'm like, oh yeah, I guess he did shave his head, but
That's the one thing like we've talked about too. Is like the world building is so good in this world because they don't even put it like in your face, front and center all the time. Like, oh, how does Aang keep no hair on his head?
Yeah.
Like you said, it's just one maybe like 5-10 second clip of him
literally
doing some
shaving his
grooming,
head.
and that's enough to explain. Oh, this is happening off camera.
Yeah, they
all
don't
the
they
time.
don't do it like that blatantly. Like someone touches his head. Hey, how do you keep this so bald? Like they don't do that shit. So I like it. It's like a quick little. Hey, if you remember that one, like he said, 5-second scene from Tulsa Bossing say. Oh yeah, he is shaving his head in the morning, and I guess they all have a morning routine because Sokka gets rid of his mustache because he is like 14 or some shit.
I forget
Or
about
15. He's actually older than Katara, but
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just straight up.
yeah, it's just
Yeah. It was
yeah, the
so
show's not
amusing.
that deep, but it's one of the things of like, yo, man, my man's can't even.
Hey, this
grow
show
a
is
beard.
deep.
Well, I know, but
I like.
I'm saying I don't know if they meant that, but with his whole quest of being a man that he wants to be, it's kind of like, oh, my man only got the little Hispanic little stash thing going on.
Like he
Yeah.
knows his strengths, and he's like, you know what? I don't need this to be a man.
Not
The
yet.
stash ain't gonna help.
Not yet.
Yeah.
This baby stash not gonna help. But the season 3 opener was pretty cool. Like he said, finds out they've been like undercover. They stole a boat.
Mhm.
They're with Katara and Sokka's dad, and they're just making their way through, trying to see what's up. Cause my boy Aang's out of commission.
Oh yeah.
Out.
You know what? We're mentioning all these little details that they put in. The one thing that I love is that not only that they put a scar permanently on Aang when they're drawing him and
Oh, yeah.
Oh, anytime
showing
you
him
see
his
him?
back. Anytime you know he got hit by lightning there, and it's not until later. I think it's a couple episodes later in the third book where you see him laying down and you see the exit of where the lightning should have come out. You know, like if you get hit by lightning, it enters and it
And
leaves
you
through
gotta
your feet.
redirect it.
Yeah, it leaves through your feet. And then he had a scar down there too. And I'm like, man, the attention to details these artists had to just keep it in your head that happened. Oh,
Yeah.
I just
They must have been pissed every time they had to draw him shirtless though, because they also do the arrows perfectly, how it melts to the back and how it hits the forearm and it goes to the back.
That is so
I
true.
would have
Yo,
been pissed.
low key. I know air nomads aren't supposed to care about how they really look. They're just there for the fucking, to be peaceful. But they did that shit on purpose. They trying to look badass, dog.
Okay.
That's a fucking look, and it looks great.
I'm just gonna it's a great look. I'm just gonna say it's just to show. I think it's like a rank, like getting a belt.
Mhm.
You gotta let the other people know. You gotta flex on them a little,
The
like yo.
tattoos do signify you're a master though, so it does have somewhat of a purpose.
Oh no, I know, but the way they did it, I'm just saying they did that shit for looks.
Yeah,
yeah,
that
yeah.
shit look good.
Taking that point of going on for Master, we forgot one critical thing in season 3. Toph metal bending.
That was season 2.
That was,
That was
season
season
2.
two.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh
Dang.
shit! Hey, talk metal Ben.
Well, here's the thing again, man. There's too many fucking beautiful, amazing characters that I always forget when shit happens, and I forget to bring up shit because there's so much good shit.
I
man.
thought that was book 3, low key. I don't know why I
Book
thought,
two,
I
she
thought it
gets
was 3.
kidnapped.
I
'Cause
swear,
they
one
get
of these
letters.
days we gotta do a recap of like we're only gonna talk Aang. We're only gonna talk.
Welcome to the Aang episode.
Yeah.
And then like 30 minutes in, yo, Momo, man, I swear to God. Which we haven't brought up. Shout out to Momo. But it's just so hard because they're like so interconnected and some teach each other lessons. Because season 3, we'll talk about just a little lead up to the invasion, because then post invasion is when you add Zuko to the gang, and that's a whole different show,
Yeah.
kind of ish. But yeah, season 3 pretty much Aang, they're still gonna do the Eclipse invasion. They have a new strat. They have some leading up to it. It's not, there's some shit, there's some fun episodes, but they're not the craziest, so we could just lead up to the invasion if you guys want, unless you have extra things. Well, maybe bloodbending was cool.
Don't they have?
Is that blood? Yeah, like I'm trying
I
to
just
think.
throw it in,
Yeah,
I'll throw it
yeah.
I don't know if this was
I almost forgot for a
before
second.
or after. 2 things. The first thing being, did they have any more Zuko episodes while they were getting ready for the invasion?
Yeah, the beach episode was before the
And-
invasion,
okay.
and the one where you find out who Zuko's grandparents were.
Okay, so I
Or
think those are really
great-grandparents,
cool.
yeah.
We also
But
missed
before that
Roku's
is the other
backstory.
part.
Yeah, that's
Okay, that's that.
Is another one. Was this before or after where Aang enrolls in a school?
That's
Dude,
that's the first
I
episode.
love that.
Okay,
So that's the
'cause
second
I
episode.
love
That's
that.
okay, I do want to get into that because I definitely love how we know the Fire Nation as a big bad
That's a big bad war machine.
war machine, and now you get to see like their actual living conditions, like because you don't really see that really in the show. You see Earth, you see the South Pole, you don't really see the Airbenders really, but you know, R.I.P.
See
But
him in the past. Hey.
You see some cutscenes.
yeah, but now we get to see the Fire Nation and realize these are just people, and they're really, like you said, they're just following an evil king, like,
Yeah.
and
Yo.
how they get that fanatical.
Yo,
Uh-oh.
episode 2. I was 12 when it premiered, so I'm allowed to say this legally. I took Law 5. I know what I'm saying. Katara is a baddie when she dresses in the Fire Nation clothes. I know she's 14, but yo, I was 12. Like, Aang, what's up?
She looks really awesome. She looks badass. And I like just like that perspective, to be honest.
But-
of the
oh,
whole.
That
Talking
Footloose
about the
episode was fun.
outfits, it's cool to see that that with just the main cast, you see exactly what Fire Nation people wear. So you have, tk'od, and Aang chose I want the suit, which he didn't know was a uniform. So he played himself that day. And I forgot what Sokka wore. Did he wear something just more
It
casual?
was just
more-
like a red
yeah.
shirt with no sleeves and some pants.
Yeah.
So very casual.
So yeah, that episode really, when started watching it, it's when it hit me. I'm like, oh man, they've gone through all these nations and they've done a really great job of showing all their culture from their food, music, martial arts, and their family makeups, just how they interact in their societies. And it wasn't until I got to that point where I'm like, holy shit, they've been doing this the whole season, all these seasons, man.
So there's so many little minute details, man.
Because as soon as you get to the Fire Nation, it's like you pay more attention, because this is a nation that has been vilified as a whole because of what the leaders are doing. So seeing Aang go to school and just confronting the teacher about certain facts that they're getting wrong, that's not in the books. I think they were talking in class about, I don't know, it was the Air Nation or
Air Nation
Army, yeah, the Air Nation.
Yeah.
How
Fire
Salson
Nation.
defeated the Air Nation army. He was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Air armies were actually pretty peaceful. They didn't have an army. Like, watch out, bro.
Exactly.
Gonna get grounded.
But
Yeah, so just seeing all of those little things that they put in, and then how that militaristic mindset affected the students as well. Like some students were very gung-ho about it. Others were like, I just got to go to the flow because this is the way to survive in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of them were like brainwashed and they're like, yo, we is the greatest. And a lot of them were like, well, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
if it won't get me killed, all right, dog.
That dance party was legit, though.
That shit was funny, dude.
A really quick shout out that I like season 3. They kept Aang with the Fire Nation pants throughout the whole season.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty cool.
yeah.
That's a dope ass, dude. Just little art thing, because, I know a lot of studios hate, like, changing their clothes. That's why most, like, hey, y'all has one outfit and shit type thing. But that was cool. But yeah, that dance party.
I wonder if they
The
did it to
homeboy went out, dog.
That was
Went all
literally-
out
that
like,
was literally my middle school. Everyone's just standing on one side, the other one's on the one side.
yeah, that was funny, dude. I love, oh god, when homeboy just goes crazy and starts like, I don't know what the fuck he starts doing, but they gave him like a whole like couple seconds just to go ham.
He busted
He
down.
fucking brought it.
I like how they go like, I'm Spartacus at the end of it when they get raided.
yeah.
Oh man, that was great. I think I see him right there.
Because they're all wearing
Me?
the bananas, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the bandana.
what's up, man?
Oh, and then homeboy sees him Earth and he's like, oh shit, like his little
Yeah.
face like after they escape.
They like escape and he's like, you know what?
I didn't see nothing, bro.
He showed me how to dance. He gets a
But
pass.
yeah, no, I
Flame me
definitely
out,
wanted this guy.
Play me, oh hot man.
I just wanted to mention that because I thought, like you mentioned, it was definitely a very good insight. But the next episode I think is also kind of important, or at least really significant, would be the beach episodes for Zuko.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one was deep because it's literally just showing how fucked up they all are.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no easy way to say it.
that is exactly what to say. I know I talked about it like 2 books ago.
Hey, fair enough.
Right? So yeah, that really, that's what I really loved about the show, is that you have these characters and you want to vilify them, but you also see the stuff that they had to go through.
And I think that episode reminds you that these are teenagers.
Yeah.
With the
'Cause you
little
gotta
party.
remember, 'cause
Yeah,
you're like,
Azula couldn't flirt for shit. Everything
she's
was
such a
world
fan.
domination.
your suit Shark Chan. It could sink a earthbending Imperial warship because it's so sharp.
And
You get it?
And then you also
Yeah.
you also see how you get glimpses of how she keeps. Well, you already saw it, but they definitely really pulls in the point that her friends are only her friends because she basically scares them.
Yeah, she bitched them. Well, they show that a little bit when
they show it, and I think
when
this one
she
drives
first
it
meets
in.
Ty Lee and
Yeah.
she's trying to recruit her, and she takes off sets the net on fire, and she gets nervous, so she joins because
Yeah, Ty Lee definitely got like the rough end of that stick. But what was the other one? Was
May.
May?
Yeah.
May was basically like, whatever, let's go. I know the
Ty Lee
business.
was the softest, so she was like, oh, I don't want to push any buttons. May was like, I fucking guess it's better than being at my house with my dad.
Yup, taking care of this.
That's why I like May. She's like, I don't want to.
Okay, so here, this one was funny. I think it was book 2 where they rescue someone and May just sitting there in the Kyoshi armor like, I'm not gonna fight, just take it. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
That was hilarious. Like she knew what's up. I was like, I'm not gonna do this shit.
Or when like they did the drill, May's like, I'm not going in there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that one too.
Yeah.
She said go chase after them in the slush water. She's like, nah, I'll rather let Azula firebend me. I'm not going in that fucking mess.
I love she knows where she stands. Like
Yeah.
this is what you
She's
get,
like,
dog.
Just like this, my heart limit. They're like, that's barely a limit. She's like, this is my
My
heart
limit.
limit.
Yup.
But
Yeah, I like how like talking about May. Like God, man, she even though she seems to go with the flow, she does have her limits all the time. Like, yo, this is my limit. I'm not gonna go in that. Or I'm gonna help my boyfriend escape. That's my hard limit. Don't make me choose between me and my boyfriend. I mean, between my nation and my boyfriend, I choose my boyfriend.
Hey,
That was just
Ride
like,
or die.
Ride or die. Yeah, definitely.
That's when you meet the second ride or die.
Well, low key, let's say I was 12 when this happened, but Ty Lee in a bikini, dude, man.
God damn it.
I'm sorry. We're talking about the beach episode. 12-year-old me was not ready in that bikini.
Oh
I'm sorry.
man.
I had to bring it up. Elephant in the room.
Yo,
Your elephant.
Hey,
it's like you can legally say it like you said, because me, I'm watching this as an adult, and I'm just like, God damn it, it's a beach episode.
Mm-hmm.
They knew what they was doing, dog.
Not even that. I was just like, get it moving, like I don't
Yeah.
want to see any fan service or any of that.
Yeah.
And what I love about this show is very inspired by what is it called? Not manga. Anime. There. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Just drew a blank. Yeah,
That's
it's
okay.
very inspired by anme, but they did it in
Without the
such an
fan service.
American way where it just flows nicely.
Yeah, they took like some of the best parts they wanted. They weren't like, oh, let's copy it exactly. They were like, it was a legit inspiration, not a carbon copy type thing.
Yeah.
But
They got rid of all the fan service. Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, but also, yeah, like the beach episode, when I first saw it, I was like, what the fuck? There's nothing going on in this episode. But the older I got, when I rewatched it, I was like, oh, okay, this has like more deeper implications, especially the ending where Zuko's like, what do you want? He's like, dude, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I thought I have everything, but I'm still depressed.
Yup.
Sad boy.
Man.
Shit was deep.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, yeah. That's a 12-year-old. I was like, show Ty Lee in the bikini again.
Go back to that shot. Where's the rewind?
Literally, when I rewatched it, I was like, oh, man, this shit was low-key deeper.
Yeah. But that was funny at the end where they just burn a house.
Well, they also give Azula a little bit. She's like, what do you want me to say? That, my mom didn't love
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
That shit
yeah.
was true. She was like, I am crazy. Still kind of hurt, though. And you're like, She meant that part. And
Yeah.
you're not sure how much she means it because she says it so nonchalantly, but it comes up later that
Oh, hell
she
yeah.
meant it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's
Ooh,
true.
that weighed definitely heavy on her.
Is this the start of Azula's breakdown?
It's almost. But I think we have to go to the invasion first.
I don't
But I
want to
think
skip
that's
too far ahead.
I think that's it for that. Those 2 episodes are the only ones I really wanted, or 2 events. I don't
Yeah.
unless I'm missing.
I know
anything.
We're missing.
Quick shout out to Bloodbender.
Yeah.
Oh
Bloodbending.
shit, that's right.
Bloodbending was creepy.
Someone take over because I don't remember too much from that. So
Well, I just want to give a shout out unless you guys want to talk about it a little more.
I don't remember.
No,
too
it
much. I
just-
just remember she bloodbend.
It just shows how much that waterbenders can't depend on always having water around them. Like Chitara had to sweat in order to waterbend,
Mhm.
and then later she'll like, "Ayo, these are trees."
Yeah, she does tell her like, hey, yeah, you could pull from plants, you could pull from that tree. Like, it kills the flowers, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And you kind of feel bad for the old lady. She's an evil, crazy bitch, but she was like a war prisoner.
Yeah.
And all her friends got kidnapped and taken into war internment
That's
camps,
why
and
the
you're
South
pretty
tribe
sure
is
they
all
died.
shitty.
Yeah.
Low key.
Yeah, this this episode
She got
really
treated dirty.
encapsulated what would the water tribe look like if they were as power hungry as the fire
Yeah,
nation.
if they were the aggressors.
Imagine if they were the aggressors, like how much worse it would be. Like you'd have freaking water bendings on a full moon going out and just blood bending people to death.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be.
I
God,
kinda
just the thought of it is
scary.
killing. It's killing. Like you see that, and if they could pull water out of plants. They don't even have to control you with the blood bending. They can just pull your blood out.
I didn't want to go there, but yeah.
Thinking about all the implications that they showed you, and it really pushed water bending to its, technical limits. Like, this is everything that you could do. And like we talked, they sprinkled it throughout the show. So you have the guys in the swamp bending the water.
The water inside the vines.
In the vines.
Yeah.
Then you have her, you mentioned it right now.
Katara
using the sweat. So they're giving you an idea of like, whoa, like what can you actually do with all these bending techniques if you push it to the absolute limit. And that episode was great to show exactly how the lengths that some people could go to do that, and also to pass down those arts. Man,
yeah,
that was sick.
Well, after this is over, I'm gonna make a fan fiction about an airbender who suffocates you while you sleep by taking the air out of your lungs.
Oh my god! You don't even gotta sleep for that. But no, I just wanted to say
that's called my sleep apnea.
Just stare at him very intensely. I'm doing it.
But I like that there's these weird things that could happen, but they're like, oh yeah, they could. Like bending, I was curious when I was younger.
Yeah.
Because I was like, because when you're in middle school, you're learning, oh yeah, the body's like 76% water. I'm like,
low key, I kind of feel though, this is, I guess this is too much like wishful thinking, but I kind of feel like she got treated pretty terribly. Like, she doesn't know anything but fighting. And all her friends and family were taken away. She's not home, and it's been years. Like, she's living in a strange land. I'm talking about the Bloodbender.
Yeah. I was like, okay, he's gonna clarify soon, right?
Yeah. So I just felt like she got like low key shafted, because like at the end of everything, like, yeah, she did something bad, but like, damn, take her home, like.
Yeah, but she's literally she's kidnapping civilians though. Like, if she was doing this to soldiers, I'd be like, you know what, do you, girl?
That's true. I think that would have been a little better, but at the same time, still like. True, but still, I feel like she should have been like at least sent home or something. Like, hopefully at the end.
To be honest, she could have went home at any point in time.
That's true, but
who's gonna send her home though?
I don't know, Doc. Take her with you or something. She could have helped in the fight.
And the other thing too was like, she's basically doing what the Fire Nation did to her people, to their people.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if anyone should have punished her, it should have been like, Aang should have done his Avatar duties to give her priests or something. I don't know. This is wishful thinking. I just feel like she got treated better.
Evil though, pretty much. So I couldn't give her the hookup.
She could have gave her the hookup. Like, send her home.
Evil.
Dog, no.
Like, let's be completely honest. At any point in time, she could have went home.
She could have, dog. But that's what I'm saying.
Herself she could have. The Fire Nation.
She could have got treated a little bit better. I think.
Nah, I would have think so if she wasn't kidnapping like a delivery boys and shit. Like, people are like, yo, I can't send the fruit guy. Because they go missing. It's like, yeah, dude, you're messing with the fruit guy. Fuck you.
Hey, the fruit guys hold it down.
Why. The fruit guys are the men.
I'm just saying, I could have. She should have went to jail at the North Pole or something.
Why? Where there's all that water available?
Yeah,
she could blood bend? Like, what?
She could have, dog.
But she's from the South Pole.
There's nothing there. That's what I'm saying. Fine, she could have sent back to the South Pole.
She could have just lived a life and be like, you know what, I'll just die here peacefully. She didn't have to. If she was doing this to soldiers, I would have been like, all right, you know what? She's fighting the good fight technically. She's like guerrilla war fighting.
Maybe, but regardless,
she's kidnapping literally just people.
I just felt like she got shafted at the end, a little bit, just a little bit.
Hey, she passed down them blood arts.
But that's all. I think that's it for
goal.
That's it for the.
That really was her goal.
Before the invasion, right? That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. There's that funny little quick about the dream episode with Aang.
Oh, that was hilarious.
All the goofy dreams where he can't go to sleep.
And he goes super anime.
Yeah, he keeps showing up to the fire lord with no pants.
Oh God,
yeah.
that was
that was so stupid.
Okay, it was I did not like that episode.
No,
but I did. But what I did enjoy was showing just the level of anxiety that he was going through. So I liked it that it established that, but I got tired of watching.
It was a little too goofy, but it was like, oh, you know what? This at least is affecting him.
Yeah.
So
I like how the implications carried on.
But yeah,
I liked it because it was a palate cleanser. Like, straight up, it was.
To me, I honestly like it. It slowed it down for me because it's the dreams weren't as serious as his anxiety was. So that really was a disconnect for me.
I do like the episode. I do like the comedic shit, but even more so than Eddie, I had to wait that slowed down the invasion by a week for me in real time because I watched this shit in real time.
I watched it too in real time.
I know, but still, I wanted that invasion. But speaking of the invasion,
honestly, there was some episodes that I fast forward on too. Like I had the Serpent's Path because I remember vaguely watching it, and I'm like,
Serpent's Path,
I didn't want to watch these people walk this path.
Fuck your baby Hope. I only liked it because it was a Suki episode. And it had Toph drowning and kissing Suki, thinking it's Sokka.
Yeah, that.
They have some little.
Of course, I stopped when like okay, the action came in. I stopped, watched it, carried on.
They're crossing through ice, and the ice breaks because of the giant serpent, and Sokka's taking off his shoes to go save her from drowning because she can't swim, and Suki picks her up and she's like, "Oh, Sokka, you saved me."
Oh, that's right, I remember.
She's like, "Oh, it's actually me." She's like, "All right, you can let me drown now."
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I remember.
Like yeah, it was so funny. I definitely caught that.
The only reason I like that episode is because it shows brooding Aang, and he's like, "There's no hope. Fuck all this shit." And he's like, "I'll get you across." And then at the ending, when he sees the baby with the basic bitch name Hope. But you know, it's beautiful.
Yeah, like at that point, I started watching it again. What other episode? The one with the theater one. That one, where they're doing the other one because I already wanted to go straight into the fight, and they were slowing it down towards the end.
It was a filler recap, but I think it's the best filler recap
ever
made.
It's the best.
We'll talk about it in a bit, but
yeah.
No one likes filler recap episodes. You could ask your wife. Friends has a fuck ton, and I hate them. You could ask her. Friends, the show, Friends, has so many where it's nothing but, and I always get mad when I realize, oh shit, it's that episode. At least this one did something weird, goofy, and that was kind of like Fire Nation propaganda, so it makes sense that they lean it towards them.
Yes.
But we'll talk about it since that's the second to last. Well, let's talk about it now since it's just a comedic thing.
Yeah, go for it. Like I definitely want to watch it. But at that moment, like you said, it was slowing it down for you.
If you have an option to skip ahead, it's not worth because it's literally just recap. It's worth to watch it after because you could see how they poke fun at each other. And
you know, I might have to watch this episode tonight because.
Oh, so you did completely skip it?
I completely I watched maybe like the first act where they stop for intermission.
Yeah.
And they start feeding people lines.
Sokka
goes.
Can you get me back there?
Yeah, can you get me back there? And
I
want to give
finish
more
it
lines.
just because the play. I don't want to spoil the episode.
Yeah, just finish it.
Go ahead.
Well, the play ends with Aang in the play showing up to fight the Fire Lord and dying.
You know what? I fast forward to that fight.
Oh, so you're trying to see
that.
Yeah. So
I gotta admit, they're little.
That's what made it kind of worth it. Like, oh, this Fire Nation propaganda saying, "Yo, we already won."
Yeah, definitely. And I like the use of the what is it? The string paper.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
The only thing better than the string guy was the one special effects guy moving everything. It was literally one guy moving every single special effect.
Oh my god, that was funny as fuck.
But yeah, going back to the invasion, I like that they brought back like the whole squad, man. They brought back some of the wrestlers, some of the freedom fighters.
I was
they brought
surprised
back the
swamp people.
I was so surprised when they brought them.
The engineer guy, Sokka's dad. They brought the squad, man. They brought
everybody.
The boulder.
And
Haru.
And that's like when I said earlier too. It's like they wrote these characters and they were like, you know what, we're gonna use them because we didn't get like say a nation to fully commit, but we got people from those nations coming together.
Instead of bringing a bunch of blank face earthbending dudes with hats, let's bring back some, you know, they did bring a couple, but they brought back like freedom fighters, Haru and his dad who are fighting the rebellion. That shit was dope, man.
I was definitely pleased with that invasion. The whole invasion scene, it was great.
Yeah, the way they did submarines and their the earth tanks move through earth and they kind of like caterpillars that move a section at a time. It's so creative, dude. I fucking loved it, man.
Yeah, the submarines, I love that even though this world is technologically advanced at points, they don't discount using benders as part of the machine itself. We need benders to move these machines instead of relying on motors. Say coal energy or any of that stuff.
Yeah, like when they shoot the torpedoes, I think they water bend
them. They water bend them out. Yeah.
So I think it's cool. They're like, hey, yo, we're not in the future yet, and whatever we can do. So like, we haven't invented missiles, but we invented bombs that you could like guide out with the bending. So we still use our magic system. But that invention was dope, man.
It's pretty cool, dude.
Then now they meet Azula with her bitch ass.
Dude, that
so
she's such a bad bitch though. She's like keeping all three distracted without bending because the string clips and she's just finessing.
Yeah. So what ended up happening? Oh, go ahead. You go.
No, it's like the first time you see Azula not being aggressive at all in that whole fight.
Yeah, and you see like, oh, this it's not just fire that makes this bitch a badass.
No, she has the martial arts skills, hand-to-hand combat.
She's a killer, bro. But no, I guess I don't know if we mentioned this earlier, but the reason the whole plan was them to get there and Aang to fight the Fire Lord when his bending is gone. But Azula had found out because she took over the.
Yeah, they told her while she was dressed as a Kyoshi warrior from the king.
Yeah, so that's how she found out about that. I don't know if we mentioned that, but that's the reason.
No, but
hey, you never know, dog.
no, I'm saying this. It's cool, but either way.
Yeah, and because of that, the Fire Lord is hidden underneath the. I think it was a volcano, right?
Yeah, they're in the volcano.
Everyone, they just don't know what room he's in.
Yeah, they only find the bunker because of Toph.
Hey, Toph though.
Toph's amazing.
Added Toph to the team.
Did it? Wait, hold on. Oh fuck. Because doesn't she like scream something out like Azula? Like, oh, it's down the hall to the right of the stairs.
Yeah, she's like, he's down the hall. Like as soon as the firebending comes back on, she's like, he's down the hall to the left.
She was so
Yeah,
funny.
that was so great.
So funny.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. And like it tells him exactly where he needs to go. Like,
Yeah, as soon as she could bend.
Hey, that fight with Zuko and his dad was pretty dope.
That's what I'm saying, man. Zuko steals the show so much because he's like, yo, man, I'm dipping. I'm gonna go join the Avatar. You low-key a bitch. You the reason I got a scar. And then his
Where's my mother?
Where's my mom? Yo, fucking the disrespect though.
Low key, oh dude, the Fire Lord on Shake is like, oh, you come at me when I don't have my fire bending. Bitch, I don't got my fire bending either. Come at me, bro.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, they show with two swords.
That's
Okay.
good. I didn't want to say anything.
He went straight up.
Don't give Zuko too
Hey,
much
well,
credit.
he straight baited him. He was like, "You got these two swords. I've got no fire."
Yeah, he said, "You come at me with no firebender," and Zuko would have been like, "I got no firebender either, dog." Holding his two swords,
Yeah.
like, tampoco. So chill out, bro.
Should have just gave him a sword. I was like, vamos, way.
Yeah,
but it was.
As soon as the eclipse broke.
Yeah, the
He hit
dopeness
him
of
with
him
lightning.
redirecting the lightning, though.
Yup.
Oh yeah,
He's
you
like,
could
"Yo,
even
dog,
see it in
I
his
could've
eyes
fucked you
too.
up,
Like,
cuz."
yeah, I
But
think
that's the Avatar's job.
Yup.
that's true.
I like how he straight up told him that. It's like, oh, I know what my destiny is now. It's to help the Avatar defeat you. Like, just the clarity he had at that moment when he's confronting his dad about that was great. It was just like the height of his redemption arc right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it
he's
closed it
he's
off.
like, this is my final. I've been wishy-washy, but this time for real, dog. Because I'm telling you, the guy I've been trying to please, that I'm switching sides.
This
bitch.
it, boy.
Nah, but we miss Iroh breaking out of prison.
Oh shit.
No, but God, just gotta say, I geeked out when I saw him redirect the Fire Lord's lightning, because you were told exactly how dangerous this technique was.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna even let you practice. Hopefully, you never use this shit.
Yeah, hopefully you never use it, but remember to direct it into your stomach and then out, because if you direct it to your heart, you're dead. You're straight dead. So having his father shoot the lightning at him using something inspired by a different from waterbending from a different tribe against his father just encapsulate his rejection of just Fire Nation ideals and joining in the entire world.
Hey, low key, this kind of, I mean, obviously this is probably never happened, but it'd be really interesting, like, if they start mixing techniques or getting inspiration from other, or see more of that in other bendings, and it'd be pretty cool.
I would really love to see that. What was it? What's the next one after Korra? Right? Did they do any of that in Korra?
I don't think so.
There's a few things, but nothing too drastic. But there's a little couple things that you see that they got from other stuff. It's not that drastic though, but they do have more inter-element relationships because they're more established now after the war.
That's pretty dope.
But that's just a side thing. It'd be cool to see how they, develop later on.
And like hopefully if they
comics.
create another series for
I know.
in the Avatar universe,
Hopefully,
that would
man.
be something dope to explore. Hey, give us writing credits.
I got you. Wasn't it? Ty Lee and more bikinis. Like
Sergio, is that legally binding?
Sadly, no.
Damn.
I took law.
as you mentioned.
Well, Marcus is right though. We did kind of skip over. Iroh's been in jail, but we did skip over where you find out Zuko's lineage and why he's so torn all the time. Because his great grandfather was the man who started the war, and from his dad's side, but from his mom's side, his great grandfather was Avatar Roku.
Hey, his mama.
So he's from his mom's side. So he's always had this two internal conflicts inside, because one stood for like the tyranny and one stood for balance.
Mm-hmm.
And he finds out through Iroh making him read some scrolls. At the same time, Aang is seeing it through the spirit world with Roku.
Mm-hmm.
And that episode alone was just very insightful. Of like Roku acknowledges all the time he kind of fucked up by not killing his best friend. And he's like, yo, Aang, I'm sorry. It's up to you now because I fucked up.
Yeah.
And that's why he doesn't really get mad at him for going to being gone for 100 years, because he's like, almost all avatars fuck up.
Yeah. And he was put on ice, and he had 1 year to solve problems, unlike these other other avatars.
He's like, man, you got to do this shit, man, because there's nothing left.
The episode where they're basically showing the guy's history and how he took years, and it said it took him 12 years to learn all of that. I'm like, my boy's 12.
Yeah.
He's 12, so like that's only enough to master one.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, because they were all. I like how they were always telling him, dude, you got to practice all your. You know how to do these things, but they're not to the level where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Toph.
Plus, they tell him, especially with Toph, they're saying that the element 2 away from you is always the toughest. So he had the most struggle with Earth. We didn't really talk about, but he struggles with Earth because his space is air, which is free moving, but Earth is the exact opposite of being hard and stiff and staying in place.
You know, this is like skipping super ahead, but just imagine, like, obviously, like, whenever all the previous avatars went to train, they were there to train, you know, like Earthbender, that's all they were doing. Waterbender, that's all they were doing. But Aang, even after all of this, obviously skipping a little bit, he was already doing a bunch of peacekeeping, so when did he really have time to train? And he's still such a badass. Like, dude, so much props. Because even after that, he had to go out there and be the avatar now. He's like, he's got no, like, 2 years to take to just strictly train on one thing. He had to do that on the jobs, like,
It's like when when adults go to children to solve their problems.
So even that's just insane. Like, I don't know if that I don't know if I got what I was saying. Like,
no, definitely. Like I 100% agree. And basically, he was doing on the job training. That's what Aang was doing throughout this whole series. On the job training.
It continued till after the fact.
Even worse, it's like when the jobs are like, we need you to have 18 years experience. I'm like, but bitch, I'm too old.
So that was pretty much Aang, and that just proves how much of a badass he was and is, dude. That guy's awesome. But yeah, no, I think we're on the fire.
We're post-invasion.
Post-invasion now.
Well, you wanted to keep talking about Iroh, like.
Because this shows you how badass Iroh is, because he mind fucked that lady. He didn't mind fuck, but he strongly convinced her not.
Yeah, don't say mind fuck, dude.
Yeah.
He was so nice.
He was just being nice.
If he mind fucked anybody, it was the other guard.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, because he pretended to eat like floor off the.
Yeah, like he was broken old man.
So take it away. Keep elaborating.
She was like, "Hey, yo, you shouldn't show up to work," and she was like, "Nah, I'm gonna show." You shouldn't show up to work. And she's like,
and she was like, nah, I'm saving my vacation days. He was like, girl, don't go to work. And she was like, dog, I'm going to Cancun this summer. Then he was like, dog, don't go to work. He's like, ah.
Yeah, I like how it dawned on her face where it's like she was so conflicted. I'm like, I like you. You're a respected person in our nation.
Fuck you up.
You're in prison, and I want to be, like that conflicted of being loyal to your country and also loyal to this guy.
Yeah.
And just her saying, you know what? I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah, plus I don't think it was a guy. I'm sure most people knew he was the Fire Lord's brother who was supposed to be the guy. Yeah. So I'm sure he had like an outstanding.
That's probably the
reputation too.
Yeah, because he was supposed to be next in line. No,
he was.
He was.
Yeah, he was in
the
line.
older brother.
But I mean, before the old Fire Lord, before Kuzo's, what is it?
Ozai.
Ozai's the Fire Lord?
The current Fire Lord.
Yeah, before Ozai, because Ozai did some underhanded shit to get next in line, and he dethroned.
Yeah, he was supposed to be technically the next.
To that's why, now thinking about it, talking out loud, that's probably why he had that much weight with other Fire Nation individuals who weren't as loyal to the current Fire Lord.
Plus, people knew him as like the only dude who like did all this dope shit, the Dragon of the West. So I'm sure he
was like a badass general too.
The person who said like he was the last one to hunt a dragon.
Yeah.
We got that legend.
Which we were about to talk about post invasion.
What are we getting into first?
Pretty much just
we gotta
Zuko here.
Zuko? Okay, awesome. Because I love
his dumbass.
Hey guys,
when he's practicing with the frog, Zuko here.
Oh yeah,
guys.
You probably know that already since I've been trying to kidnap you. I was like, dude, you awkward son of a bitch.
No, but really, like I like how they use levity in the moment of having to go up to someone and ask for forgiveness. How do you? It's so hard to do that.
Yeah. And especially with the shit he's done.
Yeah, like for more than half the year.
Trying to kill you like a couple times, but it's cool.
I almost came close.
And then also doing the whole back and forth, like, yes, I want to switch over and not. How do you know this is not another betrayal?
Also, because of him, Aang almost died too, because he got shot with the lightning. So it's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
But I think this is one of the moments where you see Toph, at least for me, Toph really embody being a Earthbender. She's not as stubborn. Like she knows, well, she's stubborn obviously, but she knows that you guys are being stubborn, and I know about being stubborn. We need a freaking Firebender. What are you guys talking about? And I think
I definitely agree with you, but to her, she also has the slight advantage that everybody else in the room.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I forgot about that.
Like
you're
feeling
right.
the other person's emotions.
Yeah, you're right. Because she didn't experience as much.
Plus, you got to remember, she never had beef with Zuko.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I forgot.
He was already undercover, and she never knew him as the creepy dude.
That is another excellent point.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. But...
And she met his uncle too, though. So she was like, "Yo, his uncle's cool. I don't got beef with him.
People.
Don't we need a trainer?" And they're like, "Nah, you don't know what we know."
For real. God, that is true. It's like all those connections, and she had the best relationship. Well, she had one connection to Zuko, which was Iroh.
Yeah.
And then also from there, not having any beef, and 3, it's she could feel people's emotions.
Yeah.
And all of that.
I forgot about that until you said that.
So like to me, I'm like, yeah, she was the only. She had all the information she needed to make a good decision about this, while the other ones were acting on
pure emotion.
Yeah, pure emotion, previous experience, and that 1 minute clip that she showed me.
Definitely, which definitely, I feel like she would know, because I feel like a lot of Earthbenders that tend to be the more stubborn ones. Like, I know about this. Y'all are doing what normally is our category.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, how did just completely me? But how did where did Iroh and Toph meet again? What happened? I forgot.
It's when Zuko leaves Iroh and he steals the little camel thing. Zuko's chasing after him, and this is when she has her first beef with Katara and them, where she's like, "You know what? I left to help you guys out. I'm gonna take all this shit."
Yeah.
And they run into each other. He makes her some tea. And
Yeah.
then they fight Azula.
Yeah, I remember. Okay.
Oh man, just since we're talking about just how he got left behind, like the first interaction where Iroh and Zuko bump into Earth Kingdom people, and they just lost all prestige. And he's telling them like, dude, he's like, dude, there's no shame in doing what you have to do to survive. There's nothing wrong with it. We're doing this. And they go over to a family's home to have dinner, and he's being respectful, and Iroh's being respectful. Zuko's being a little punk. He doesn't know how to interact with other people because he's been so brainwashed by the Fire Nation at that point. And when they leave and he takes the, I don't know what it is.
The horse.
Well, it has
Chocobo.
2 legs.
Chocobo.
Okay,
yeah,
this
like
universe Chocobo. And Iroh straight up tells him, it's like, dude, they showed you all this kindness. Why are you doing this? It's like,
I think at that point his old man gave in, like, oh fuck, you're right. Let me get on.
But right before that happens, though, I know we're backtracking a lot. He starts going. That's when he starts seeing things a different way, because the girl shows him like, hey, don't be afraid of your scar. Look, I have burn scars on my legs too, because and even though he still does evil, I think that's the first time where he starts seeing like, oh man, I thought I was like special, or not special, but like I thought I was scarred in both terms of physically and emotionally for this. But
like, I thought I was the only one.
Yeah, but I guess these people are going through it too.
I like how you said that, because it's showing basically he finally started seeing people were going through the same situations at him, because it's like both scars, they're both dealing with the war, and his country's causing it, other person experiencing it, and he connected with that person and was able to put himself in her shoes and say like, I think I understand you, but I'm still a fucking dick.
Well,
give me your horse, your Chocobo.
He was probably pissed because in a mature way she was probably like, you not special, bitch, look at these scars.
I got 2 legs.
That way, like, look at these scars.
You got one. You got one, so I got both legs, bitch.
Dumbass Prince Self, I live in a fucking farm. What's wrong with you? But pretty much to go back, he eventually does join them, because shit's gotta get done, because Sparky Boom Man, which we haven't talked about, the weird hunter who can mine fire.
Yeah, that was so interesting.
God,
Combustion
he was pretty
bending.
dope.
Sparky Boom Man.
Apparently he lost both his arm and leg from when he first learned about his power.
See, I wish he would have had more backstory. I really like how he was part mechanical, and then he bended from his forehead.
That was a very interesting thing. Like, they never really explained how they did that, so I was really curious as to how. I mean, I'm assuming it's something to do with like, how did he learn that? Is what I want to know.
Like I said, I wish they would have explored him a little more, because I wasn't content with getting a boomerang or something thrown at his head to defeat him twice. I think that was probably one of the weakest.
Yeah, to be honest, if it was the first time it happened, they got it. But he's like, yo, my forehead's been hit before and shit didn't plan out. But when you're that big and strong, I guess you're a little dumb. I'm guessing. I wouldn't know. I'm not
That's
Jack.
true, but this is a West temple, right?
I think so.
And this
I'm not
is a
even
cool
sure.
one. I forgot.
Oh yeah, the one. The one where
architecture was dope.
the
on
one
that
where Toph, you think she's joking because she's like, "Oh, it's here!"
Yeah,
and everybody like,
everyone
"What?"
by then, so like,
Yeah.
it's like, should you apply that stuff? You're not fooling us. And then she's like, no, for real though. And then it's like, oh no, I think we're here.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think that we're here. It's down there.
like,
Yeah,
hold up.
Like once the world building, the architecture, that one's so dope. To think that the Airbenders made it backwards just because
Yeah.
they're the only ones that could access it by falling and gliding
Yeah,
and crawling.
that- one's
Yeah,
pretty
I
sick.
like that statement because even though they have a roof at the bottom, that's the bottom
that's-
floor,
that's
the
actual
first
level.
floor, and you
Yeah.
go up.
That shit was so dope.
Yeah, and then I guess eventually they let him join, and I think this is the funniest shit ever. He can't firebend anymore.
Yeah.
Zuko, yeah.
Well, this starts off the series of everyone has an adventure with Zuko.
Yeah.
God, it's book 3 probably has to be some of my favorite
Book
episodes.
3 is so
Starting
amazing
with-
because it feels like 2 dope books in one though. Like I said, pre-invasion and then post-invasion with Zuko. It feels like a whole different ship.
Who's the one that goes first? Was it
Aang.
Sokka or Aang?
No, it's Aang.
Aang.
Because he can't firebend.
That's right. Okay.
Oh yeah, that episode
this
was
is-
amazing.
And that's when they show you, man, Fire Nation is not just about destruction, man.
Yes.
It used to be about warmth and growth, but it's just been manipulated by evil douche.
There you
people.
go. That was pretty awesome, and that's where you meet the last, from what we know, the
What
last
is
two
it, the
survivors.
Sun-
The Sun Priest.
The Sun
Sun
Warriors.
Priest.
Sun
Sun
Warriors.
Warriors.
Yeah.
And we
In
meet
their whole society. I really love that they showed the dances
Yeah,
and
the
how they
dragon
get
dance.
they get deep into the connection of bending with animals and how they're the teachers.
That was always one of my favorite things. That like people like even said in one of the season 2 episodes when talking about Omashu when they're going through the secret tunnel.
Yes.
They see the story of the first Earthbender is the girl who her husband died because Oma, her name was Oma and her husband was Shu, but their villages were fighting each other and he eventually died. Well, they learned Earthbending to meet each other because they loved each other, and they learned their brother magic most. I love that kind of lore type shit.
That episode started goofy with the songs, but once,
with the hippies.
yeah, with the hippies, yeah, and when they get deeper into there, and then you're hearing about the lore even in the world and how people don't have it all figured out.
Yeah.
It was great, and it's just like first hint of telling you this is what exists in the world. Expect more of it. So they're laying the groundwork with this one episode, which is convenient because it's like earth bending.
Yeah, pretty
Setting
much.
the foundation straight.
And then the fire one does this kind of with the dragons, where they're like, you're gonna be stopped by the masters, and it's like they think all the dragons were dead at this point because Iroh has the reputation of killing the last dragon, but he's such a chill effing dude
Yup.
that he said that just to keep him respects. And then the dragons come out. Dude, the scene where they're dancing and the dragons are flying according to the dance was
That was
visually-
amazing.
Oh.
I thought literally this first time I was watching, I'm like, oh no, what are they doing? They failed. They don't have the fire.
Yeah, Loki, I was like,
Yeah, I'm like, what's going on? And then Aang fighting Zuko to give me some
That
of
part is
yours.
hilarious,
Give me
dude.
some of yours.
Just make some more. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Exactly.
Like, I
and
need that
to
clean
me,
shit.
I thought that was probably gonna be the way they were gonna get through it because it's sharing and showing that compassion for each other. And then when they both went out, I'm like, what? Oh, they did.
Like,
you know,
how do
like
we resolve this?
Low key, they
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have died, but they knew that he was an Avatar. Like, I guess we got to teach you. Low key, I'm just saying.
Oh, well, they did
Nah.
the dance, man.
Yeah,
no,
they did
They
the
showed the
dance.
respect,
I think
man.
they would have ate him. Like straight up would have ate him.
I'm just
That's
saying,
what
dog.
I
think
I'm
so
sure
too,
they, I'm sure,
Marcus.
I'm sure they
Think
would
so
have
too.
needed the fire with the dance, but they found out he was an Avatar. Like, fuck, we can't.
hey
eat him.
man, rotisserie humans, they already moving.
can't-
That shit was dope, though. How
It
they
was
glow
pretty-
the
it
fire
was-
with all the
yeah.
colors, and they see like
Yeah.
I think that was
God
very
knows what they
visually
see.
stunning because you just like it shows you that fire is so much more with the color. It's like it shows you that all these different colors to the fire is like it's like you said, life and all that
yeah,
other
it's
stuff.
right, warmth and life.
Yeah, and it's
all that
not
shit.
just like
Well,
for
warmth
destruction.
and growth and shit.
Yeah, it's not just destruction. It's all these colors of life or some deep shit that I can't think of. But yeah, it was really awesome. You're right. The dance.
The
Yeah.
dancing dragon.
Dance.
So I like how Zuko got his fire back. Love it. Love it.
Who's
God,
next
so
on the Zuko adventure?
It was Katara.
Katara or Sokka?
And Sokka first.
Oh,
I
was
think.
Sokka first?
Oh.
and Sokka.
We have another funny moment with Sokka.
First
Rusty.
girlfriend turned into the
Oh yeah, it was the prison break episode.
yeah,
Yep.
the
Prison
the
break
two-parter.
episode.
Boiling Rock.
Boiling Rock.
Oh, good. You already met. It's like, oh, we met a long time ago. Like, oh,
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
Nice to meet you, though.
Oh yeah. When he meets Suki, it's like, oh yeah, we actually met. Oh, we have. Like, yeah, you burned down my village. Oh,
Well, nice to meet you.
Yeah,
yeah,
nice.
nice to meet you. It's like, bro, you dumb motherfucker.
I like how they they do those jokes where you're not uncomfortable meeting someone that wronged you in this series, where they're like, okay, it's a war, there's shifting tides, and we're just gonna adapt to this because we're all in horrible situations right now, aka being in this prison.
Yeah, plus Suki's like, you know what, Sokka wouldn't vouch for some rando. There must be some reason. But yeah, because that one they set off because they're trying to save his dad, he assumes that's where he be, but they find Suki. His dad does show up too. The prison break with the riot, like, just picks up a guy, riot.
Look, he was one of my favorite, like, prison characters. He was great.
It was amazing.
He's like, yo, I want in on this too. On the first one, it's like, we're gonna float all the way over there. He's like, man, this is too slow, and burns his hand, blows the cover.
As a child, I thought that fool was gonna be a snitch too, though.
Dude,
Him out.
I already watched it, and I thought he was gonna be one.
Like, man, how the hell are they gonna get out of this, man? Zuko, what's he gonna do? I guess him and Suki were like, nah, it's this one. I'm not no traitor. I was like,
when I saw that, smart.
Straight up.
And I like how he told Sokka, it's like, bro, I know you had another plan to get out of here. I want in on this one, or I'm snitching.
I know you ain't done.
Let me in.
The dopest thing about this one, that's the one where you said that May betrays Azula that we talked about earlier.
You're missing one badass moment before.
Oh, the Suki hopping on heads, doing that backwards flip with her legs.
The whole series, we always talk about how strong Suki actually is, but this one actually.
Yeah, how she kidnaps the warden is pretty gangster.
Yeah,
that weird thing where she like leaves but then catches her feet to swing back.
Oh my god,
I was like,
that was when I hit Pike in that fight. Like, oh my god.
But yeah, no, and then also I think it's also Ty Lee that betrays Azula too.
Yeah, because first is the little rematch where they're fighting in the gondola, which is pretty badass. And as badass as it is, we're gonna sugarcoat a bit and stick over because they're trying to escape. But May stops the dudes that are gonna cut the rope. Yeah. Azula's like, yo, dog, what the fuck are you doing? She's like, well, you miscalculated, man. I love Zuko more than I'm afraid of you. And she's like, well, you should have feared me more. And she's about to knife her. She's about to, like, probably lightning her. And then Ty Lee even chooses sides. And that's what literally breaks Azula, which was so crazy, man.
Damn. Thank you for bringing that up. Because I was like, wait, why did she break down so hard? And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, because she never had anything. She at least had Suzu, her brother, and she had her two girls that she like had follow her around. But this was the first time they're like, yo, you know what, we don't even like you, we just feared you and we're over that shit.
You know what, like the first time, well, this time I watched it, it clearly skipped my mind, and I thought that this was something that she always had in the back of her mind, and I didn't. You connected it for me right now, because I thought when she was told, hey, you're gonna be next in line, and she was so close to getting it, I thought, I'm like, damn, maybe she's having, like, she's been holding herself up, and now that she's in that position, now she's thinking about betrayal, but it happened to her already.
Yeah, it was that, man. It was that
Thank you for connecting that for me.
Because I'm saying she's always trying to please her dad. Her mom didn't really fuck with her, but she always had, like, her brother that she kind of messed with. But the two girls that, like I said, she, like, bullied into being her best friends, but there's the moment they're like, yo, not even fear is gonna make us be friends with you, bitch. You're psychotic. And it's like, dude.
Yeah. That was a huge loss for her. God.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't think that Ty Lee was gonna go through with that. Honestly, I thought she...
May, like we said, she's kind of a weird asshole, so I expect that from her.
Yeah.
But Ty Lee, like, getting over her fear and just straight... Pa, 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 pa.
Yeah, that...
I think that's what did it, because I guess she always knew Ty Lee, so when she used to, like, call ugly when she was younger, she even bullied her in the beach scene. She was like, oh, you're such a flirt. No one really likes you. So...
She was just jealous because she was hotter.
Low-key. But yeah,
this is 12-year-old Lois saying that.
Oh, well, obviously, dog. Come on. But we get to the last, and I think one of my favorite scenes. With I think next one is Katara, right?
Yeah, Katara's. Oh yeah, Katara's. But you're talking about before.
Yeah.
When
you explain because I'm gonna fuck it up.
Zuko is trying to find out why Katara's such a bitch to him, and he goes to Sokka's tent at night, but he runs into Suki. But he's such a bad people person. Suki's literally going there. You know why she's going to a 15, 16-year-old boy's tent at night, creeping, and he's like, "Oh, you gotta talk to Sokka too."
Yeah.
It's okay. We going together. It's like, oh, you want in?
Like, nope. Go ahead. I'm just strolling, and she walks in. Homeboy's got the rose.
Yeah, down. My boy is waiting. He's like, oh.
That shit killed me. And then immediately they tell you a depressing story. So they show you how to roller coaster.
Oh
your
man,
ball.
I appreciate this joke because I know it was meant. This is a kids show, but this was definitely an adult.
My boy was gonna fuck.
Yo,
Yeah,
bro,
he was
I honestly feel that I don't know at what point they decided to just go deep and open this up to all demographics.
I feel like
I
it was
think
book 2, towards the end of book 1
Book 2 got a
into
little
book
dark
2.
with the weird secret city, because a lot of that I don't think kids will notice. Like the
Yeah.
whole, hey, the government isn't here for you.
Mhm.
We're secretly manipulating the king. I think that's when they're like, oh, we're gonna get weird. And by season 3, it's like, oh, we're gonna get a bit dark with bloodbending was kind of fucking dark.
Yeah.
Some of this shit. So
I'm not 100% sure. I believe they got canceled in season 2
Whoa.
because of, like, you know, it's Nickelodeon. They weren't bringing in like the views,
Mhm.
and then it got brought back.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't remember at all.
You
Wow.
think about like all the like
are you sure you're not thinking of Korra though?
no Korra got straight canceled.
No, Korra got season 1. Then they're like, hey, do season 2 and 3. But by season 3, they were like, hey, are you still working on 4? They're like, yeah. They're like, oh, it's gonna go online.
No, I'm thinking.
I gotta double
I don't
check
remember
that, 'cause
at
I don't
all.
remember that then.
We'll fact check that one, or at least get the dates right.
Because I know Avatar the Last Airbender, they were pre-put to like, hey, how many do you want to do? 60 episodes, or like they greenlit 60 episodes off the bat. So that's why I'm not sure on that one. I'll look it up. I'll take your word for now, but I'm not sure. I don't remember hearing that one. Could have been the case, but they did get a little mature. So Nickelodeon doesn't fuck with that. I know there was a thing where they didn't get a book 4 because they weren't selling toys as much. Because
Damn.
'Cause
No, but toys pay for this
I
stuff,
know,
man.
but
Toys are
that's
meant to
why I
sell
hate
toys.
it. That's
Yeah.
just, I hate that. What
That-
is it?
that goes-
I
Ewoks.
forgot the word for
And-
it, but
Wait, was Ninja Turtles before then?
Ninja
Or-
Turtles got a
Oh,
TV
okay.
show because
Of
of
cartoon.
toys.
Yeah,
Of
we saw
toys.
that here.
There's the dope Netflix series about that. The toys we
Yeah.
grew up with.
But we're
I
getting
hate that.
sidetracked.
Power Rangers
Man,
too, man.
sidetracked.
I just bringing up toy franchises now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Oh, fun fact: when they talk about how much money a movie made when it's geared towards teenagers and it's a blockbuster like I'd say Transformers, it's based on the toy sales.
I believe it.
I believe it.
Jesus Christ, that sucks. I mean, I know it pays for things, but at the same time, that's so shitty.
But what
But
about
anyways,
the
it's
Southern
literally
Raiders?
that's-
it's literally giant commercials.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
But
like I
anyways,
said.
let's not get depressed. Let's get depressed for other reasons.
But
Hey,
so back to Zuko.
kids' parents are paying for our TV shows. Let's be happy about that.
Fucking kids. And the
Yeah.
parents.
All sets.
Well, blame all their kids for streaming illegally.
True.
They're making no money off that shit.
That's true. But anyways, continue on, sir.
Yeah, so Zuko never really cock blocks because he doesn't have the social skills to know what he did. Real wingman would have been like, hey, you know what? I'm heading over there.
This isn't my
You-
tent.
I'll talk to him tomorrow. But yeah, so pretty much after that, Sokka tells him pretty much like the Southern Raiders who used to come to kidnap all the waterbenders. The story of how their mom died protecting her. That it's not implicitly said because it's a kid show. They can't say, yo, she got murked, but she got killed.
I'm not taking any prisoners today.
Brutal, dude.
Oh my god, dude, that shit was wild.
But yeah, that sets them to the adventure to go find them. Well, I wouldn't even call it an adventure. It's just a straight gangsta.
Oh, it was a
Drive-by.
mission. They went on
Drive-by.
2, not 1. They
rolled
went on 2.
up on people.
But yeah, Aang's trying to tell her, yo, violence not the way. And so
Do you see her face? Do you remember her?
No, dude, just the first captain she finds that Snot turns out to be him, and she bloodbends him despite her
Yeah.
saying like, hey, I don't bloodbend. That shit was evil. I felt awful. At the end of the bloodbending episode, she's like, that felt nasty, and you could see her like shivering.
Mm-hmm.
But when she's talking about her mama, she's like, yo, get down, dog. Just let me see your face.
It wasn't me. Peace. Like,
Ah, you're right, dog. But yeah, that episode was so shit got dark, man. At the ending
Oh,
too, when
very
she
dark.
does find them and she stops the rain, I was like, bruh.
That shows me how powerful waterbenders are sometimes. And then I'm like,
yeah.
You forgot how powerful any bender can be.
know.
Like
And-
we didn't talk about a scene in book 2 where as Bending they turn all the steps into a slide and then they ramp up the shit. I
Yes.
was like,
Oh my
that shit
god.
was so
That was
gangster,
amazing.
man. I love that scene because before they do that, I think there's a scene where Top's walking, just swaying her arms and making like rocks come up to block incoming shit. So all these benders could do
Man,
such
that was
gangsta shit.
that was the fight where they were trying to
Go into
talk to the
King's
emperor,
throne.
right?
Yeah.
That was I love that scene. It
That
was
whole
so,
sequence was
that
dope.
whole sequence was great.
I love the
It
Top
lasted
walking slowly.
I don't know how many minutes that lasted, but it,
It was
lasted
just
a
the
cool
intro
while.
too. That shit was dope.
Tossed in the OP. But yeah, you're right. And then I guess that's the decision that she has to make ultimately if he wants to get revenge for her mom or let him live. And I love how Zuko's just like ride it out, like, hey dog, it's on you. I got you to where you need to go.
And
It's your choice.
And that's also off like that evil breeds evil, because he's like, yo, kill my mom. She's a bitch. Make it even. And she's like, no, this was just like a straight bitch. I'm not gonna kill some straight bitch if that's what he wants. And I was like, that's not the words they said, but that's what I felt. And I was like,
No, like,
you know,
yeah, literally, she's like,
inside.
you're not worth my time.
Yeah,
Basically telling him like, you know, it wasn't that you were in the back of my mind, but when I got an in, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna follow this for this moment.
Low-key, Zuko should have been a real homie, and when she left, like, just stab him real quick. Like,
that's what I should like at the distance just launch like a mortar of fire.
I was just stretching.
Yeah, like this episode was definitely like, even though Zuko is trying to do something good, it does show that instinct of the Fire Nation. Like, we got to be on the attack, we have to be aggressive, we have
revenge.
to go revenge and do these things. And Team Avatar has been very good about saying, no, we're not going to do revenge, we're going to focus on justice and balance.
Yeah, but that being said, though, I do like how he wasn't that pushy, though. Like, well, he was, but not to the extent, like, do it, kill her. And
no, but he wasn't like, hey, do what you got to do.
Yeah, so that's what I really like about that, too.
He kept telling Aang, like, no, she has to go do this.
Yeah. So that's why I was like the ultimate ride or die right there. Like, that's compa.
You know, like Zuko going through his own ordeals of, like, wanting to kill Aang and thinking it's the thing that he wanted to do. Like, he's telling people, hey, you got to go. It's not bad to experience your anger, but you got to know when, you know, you're acting, your anger is taking control of you. Because I think Zuko, from everybody in the story, realized that his anger controlled him through most of his life, and then going ahead and separating himself from his family helped him understand that. And then it just capped off when he understood firebending from an actual dragon.
Yeah, and
what it meant.
And also, he basically had the same choice too, because he could have killed his dad. Yeah,
he could have.
And he didn't. So he's like, you know what? You got to go through this and see it through yourself. So that was like, ride or die. Also, little fun fact, side note, I really love how, I know he's a good guy now, or joined Team Avatar, but he's still like a hothead. And he still comes off like an asshole, but he's like, you know, he's good. Like, he doesn't mean it. That's just who he is. I like how they kept that part of him as part of him. So he's like screaming and shit.
Well, he's a little bit of both now, though.
Yeah,
he's like, on the first episode when he joins him, he's making them tea, trying to tell a joke, but he doesn't remember the joke.
Yeah.
So
but my uncle said it, so, but I like it.
It's like, the ending is something. They're like, okay.
It's like, oh, my grandpa said it better. I think Toph tells him it's because he probably knows the whole joke.
But he's kind of cool with it. He's not too much of a
so
dick.
that was really cool. But anyways, that's all I wanted to say about that.
Yeah, I guess now we can talk about the finale.
Oh God,
Fourth
yes.
quarter. That's all that's left, pretty much. Wants to bring it up or
you remember the most, because I know
I've only watched it one. Do us that quick recap at the end.
What perspective you want to take it from? Because it comes off as two perspectives.
I guess. Well, technically they're kind of isolated, so we can just go one by one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, they don't really interact after they separate.
Yeah. Well, to start it off before they separate, then it's pretty much Zuko's like, yo, why the hell are you guys kind of chillaxing at the beach? And they're like, well, we're gonna wait till after Substance Comic, because then we can't stop them. And so we'll wait for after, and Zuko's like, oh, no.
You don't know.
Like,
did you not get the email?
Let me tell you something.
I forwarded it, bro.
Did
no
y'all
email.
not get the messenger, huh?
No, he didn't. He conveniently stayed quiet. Like, he was just having this frustration build up, and he never said a thing until he's like, yo, it's getting closer to that due date, but nobody's moving.
Well,
to be fair,
trying to train, they didn't tell him.
Yeah, to be fair,
that's true.
So I think they were both wrong.
They were both,
They both sucked at communication.
True.
But yeah, you find out that Azula proposed that they just burn everything and just let it regrow naturally. And it's like, they're gonna burn this bitch to the ground.
Oh yeah, like the words that she said to her father is like, no, it was Zuko first saying like, look, they're resilient, proud people, and they're very resilient. So no matter what we throw at them, they'll find a way to stay alive and grow. So then Azula was like, I guess she interpreted it's like, you know what? Burn it all down. Take away all their hope.
Which is brutal, but that's Azula.
And then, it's funny how you also see that how fucked up Ozai is. Like, the person that he actually tolerated and who was a badass was Azula, and he still like treated her like shit. I'm like, oh fuck.
Well, he treats everyone.
Yeah.
Shit.
But that's like, I know, but I feel like that shows like how much even worse, because that's the only person he can kind of tolerate.
To me, the moment they didn't say what happened to Zuko's mom, I felt that the father had something to do with her going away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, I don't think he really loved Azula as much as he loved the idea that she was a prodigy at fire.
There we go. But
So
you're
he
treating
never
that
really
like
cared
shit.
for her. Well,
True.
he treats her like shit because he's like, yo,
She was just
you're
like
not me. You're
Yeah.
gonna be me, but you're still ain't shit.
True that.
she was just another cog in his
Yeah,
imperial
he was just
machine,
he was
and
just a lucky pawn because
Mhm.
Zuko didn't work out for him.
True that. True that.
But yeah, pretty much after that, they go through some training again, and they're like, yo, you gotta kill this watermelon man, which is Osai.
oh, that was one of the funniest training sequences ever. And having Toph
The
lead
Melon
it,
Lord.
Oh,
yeah, the melon
she got
lord
into it,
and-
dude.
and creating
Sokka.
those statues for the Fire Nation. Oh God, it was great.
Yeah, but besides all that, it's pretty much like Aang saying like, yo, I don't know what you want me to do. I'm not gonna kill this man. And they're like, and then Zuko's like, yo, well, I don't know what the fuck you think is gonna happen if you don't kill him, but I already told you it was gonna go down.
And then
that
that
leads to the whole
yeah.
conflict that Aang's mad, yelling at them like,
Yeah.
yo, until you guys figure out how I do this without killing him, tell me your fucking great ideas, because I don't got any.
Mhm.
And I guess that from like way earlier that we mentioned, that's his struggles. Like everyone's literally telling an innocent little 12-year-old to kill someone. This motherfucker doesn't even kill.
12-year-old vegetarian monk.
That's what I'm saying,
who's
like,
been raised to not
He
kill.
doesn't even. This motherfucker can't even kill an animal.
I know, but I mean, the 12-year-old thing isn't as much because Azula, if she was 12, she would
That's
still
true.
kill someone.
Okay, that's
Just be real.
But point is, everything you mentioned, and they're basically telling him like, you gotta kill him, dude. There's no other way.
Like,
It's
dude,
like,
we're sorry, but you're the
I
Avatar.
was like, what the fuck, man? And then I don't know if I'm skipping too much ahead, but this is where he talks to his past selves.
No, well, first, something calls towards him while he's sleeping,
Mhm.
like a voice, and he ends up in an island. And I guess we'll talk about Aang after that. He's in a random island, doesn't know where he is, and he meditates and talks to all the past lives. And they're all telling him, yo, cap this fool.
Even he even meets an airbender,
Yeah,
past
that
airbender,
one.
and
Oh,
I was
God.
like, you gotta do it, man. When you become the Avatar, I don't remember exactly, but basically,
The-
you become the Avatar, you
She's
separate
saying,
yourself.
as
Yeah.
monks, you want to separate yourself from the world,
Mhm.
but the Avatar could never separate from
Yeah.
the world because his duty is to the world.
And he even
Yeah.
mentions that some of the monks actually
Hey.
managed to get the ultimate, what was it, the become one. Some great monks in the past airbenders have been able to reach that level, but you can't do that because you're the Avatar.
But you're the Avatar.
So it's
Yeah.
like, damn, dude, that was like,
Yeah,
that's
that-
like driving. That's like, I felt like that was the equivalent of twisting the knife. Like some people can do it, but you
Well,
can't.
before
Yeah.
he talks to her, we gotta say he talks to Roku, who's like, "Yo, this is my mistake. I should have done this. I'm sorry. You gotta do it, but
Mhm.
it has to be done."
Mhm.
And then he's like, "Yo, never mind. Let me talk to Kyoshi." And Kyoshi's like, "Yo, I'll straight kill anyone."
What she thought was gonna happen when she talked to Kyoshi.
Yeah,
I
and
was
then
like,
literally, Kyoshi's like, "Yo, I killed the king." They're like, "Oh, well, he fell off. He killed himself." Like, I would have killed him, dog. You don't know my. You don't
Yeah.
know my
he
name.
got lucky. I was gonna.
I almost lifted him up to kill him again. And then he talks to the water. I don't remember his name.
I definitely
the
don't
Oh,
remember
waterbender
yeah,
that.
Avatar.
the waterbender. He was basically telling him, "Look, I was a fun-loving guy.
I was too chill.
Yeah.
I was super chill."
And I lost my wife, I think it was.
Um,
yeah, tk'od the face stealer.
Yeah, his lover. I don't know if
Oh,
it was
yeah.
wife, but
yeah, and at that moment he realized, like, it was as he failed as an Avatar because he wasn't doing his duty.
he wasn't reactive enough.
Yeah, he
said,
wasn't reactive. Yeah.
to the world, and he said because of that, he lost the face of the woman. Then he talks to the air nomad when he's
Mhm.
like, "Yo, I should talk to someone who's up,
My
monk
alley.
like me."
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Dude, you're the Avatar. Understand that." You're not a monk when you're the Avatar. You gotta be the Avatar first.
Oh, but the tiger turtle, man, the tiger
Yeah.
turtle, so freaking
That was
good.
scary, dude. I
love-
was like, oh, fuck that.
That was dope though. 'Cause
It was.
He
Dope,
then
but it was
finds out that
scary.
the island's moving, and he realizes. I guess it is like a little part of the shell, and he swims up to it, and it's the creepiest looking face ever.
I would have been fucking freaked
I
out, dude.
honestly loved it because I
was
know they
dope.
did hint the tiger turtles before too in the show. Somewhere
Yeah,
they talked
yeah.
about it. I'm like, what is this thing? It sounds very important.
Because they had like little lore drops about talking about how people used to live on them or weird shit like that. They always had this random shit. But seeing one there, you're like, oh man, shit.
And how massive it was. As soon as the head came up, I'm like, damn.
As soon as that head came up, I wanted to run, bro. It looked awesome, but it was like so fucking scary. I was like, no, mom, this is in the ocean. Oh god, that was scary.
And really, what I really loved about the end of Aang talking with the tiger turtle was that he's basically getting advice from all his past selves, and they're all kind of either reverberating one aspect of what other humans who he's around are telling him. Like, there's only one way to do things. The tiger turtle basically tells him something about being pure of heart. Like, not even being pure of heart, but if you're steady your heart and you hold fast to your beliefs, you can accomplish the things you want to accomplish in the manner that you want to do them. And then he does the whole touching him in the forehead and in the chest.
Yeah, because he tells him before we bend elements back then, because he's more Asian than anyone. He's like, we used to bend energy inside of people. And that's where he warns him, you got to be pretty pure for this shit.
Yeah.
This is some hardcore, this is some gourmet shit I'm teaching you.
Yeah. It's like, just a little too much salt. You ruin the whole dish.
In this case, a little too much death.
then real quick on the opposite end, you have the gang trying to look for Aang. So they go back to June. At first trying to find them. They're like, yo, he's not here. My weird smelling thing can't find him. They're like, well, can you find my uncle? And you're like, thank God we get to see the uncle, because I wasn't sure if he's gonna be back. And yeah, so they track down Uncle Iroh with that emotional ass scene of him waiting by his bedside while he wakes up.
That shit was too deep.
And
it hurt.
Like, yeah, he just hugs him. He's like, yo, I wasn't sad like that you turned evil. I was sad that you lost yourself. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah, that's the way that he said it too. It's like, I wasn't.
I'm making it no fucking justice.
Yeah, he said it's like, I wasn't. I would never be mad at you. I was just extremely sad
sad.
that you've lost your way and you wouldn't be able to make your way back. I was like, holy shit, man, this is too deep for a goddamn kids TV show.
Yeah. Then after everyone's talking to him, like, yo, we lost Aang. So it might be up to you to kill Osa. And he's like, nah, the history will see it. White Lotus is there.
Yeah, no, he's like, hey, hold up, fam. Like, I can't kill the Fire Lord. It's a brother.
Yeah.
Killing another brother for power.
He's like, history will see it as a power move. Because I'm not the one to set balance. Which, I was like, low-key respect. But, little lady.
just shave his head and color it blue.
Just pretend you're him, bro. They don't know. Not everyone's seen him.
Low-key, right?
It's been 100 years.
That's true. It has been 100 years. You know how he looks like? Just have like Toph Underground helping him with the broadband or some shit.
They can make it work. I believe it.
Yeah, and then this just sets up to where he's like, Zuko, you gotta go reclaim the Fire Nation. Azula's there. He takes Katara,
which is an odd pairing. I wasn't expecting. It's like, oh shit, now they're gonna go help each other. That's tight.
Yeah, Sokka's like, what should we do? He's like, whatever you think. So he takes Suki and Toph to go stop the fleet in case Aang doesn't show up.
Yeah,
and this pops up like 3 of the greatest fight scenes at the same fucking
time.
The show kept just outdoing itself, man.
Did. At the same time. They went all out. They knew this was the last season. They wrapped everything up.
Before we do this, we have to admit. Well, I have to admit, once I figured out that firebenders can actually fly.
The
Iron Man shit.
It was slightly goofy, but it's alright.
Nah, I loved it, man.
It was, I think the first one to do it that I saw do it was Azula.
Yeah.
She didn't really, I don't know if she used it to fly, really, but she used it to, like, boost herself. But I think, once the Sozin was there, at that point, they was, we flying now.
If you think about, like, every bender is shown, like, they can bend with, like, their whole body, except for, like, firebenders.
True.
Or half true, because Zuko does some interesting shit where he does, like, weird flips and does kicks to firebend, too.
I always thought he was firebending from his hands, and he was just spinning faster.
I know, but he has some moves where he's like does 1, 2, and then a kick.
Yeah, they can do kicks.
That is true.
So they do a couple of things. But you know what? There's actually 4 fights because I was hanging out with the White Lotus, and the White Lotus goes to take over Ba Sing Se.
That was looking pretty tight.
I love the idea of the White Lotus and Ba Sing Se, but those fools were so overpowered. I'm like, I don't even think they're gonna lose. There was no tension in there for me.
That was just fanfare, I think, man.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
Well, okay,
that was the light. What was it? That was the relief. That was the palate cleanser that you would bring up.
Let's talk White Lotus, Sokka and the airships, then Zuko, then Aang to finish it off.
That's a good.
Right,
yeah, that's a good setup.
Right.
Yeah.
And we won't talk too much on the White Lotus. It's just badass of Iroh just breathing.
Oh man.
Caused the flames to rise. And the flames rose behind him. He did it again, and then he just like launched the biggest big dick energy fire blast into the wall and broke it in one fell swoop.
That shit was
like
sick, dude.
Eddie said, it was just a power trip because everyone's hauling ass. Just
I like
even the
busting in there.
Yeah, the non-benders even.
Yeah, the sword was like, yo, I'm gonna chop y'all.
He just chopped
fuck on my
way. Spears off was like, What's up, bro? You
I
gonna
just-
fight me?
Mhm.
This is a kid show, but I just want to say people died. They killed some people.
Oh,
You know, to me, also just to touch on this, it's like, you know, the White Lotus is like unity with all nations. That's basically the Avatar crew. It's
Yeah,
like
they're pretty
they're
much-
Hey, that's true.
yeah.
they're
I
like
like
that
that whole.
underground Avatar crew in case the Avatar maybe doesn't do his duties
Yeah.
or something.
And then what is it called? John. Oh, fuck. What is his name?
You got
yeah,
it right.
Jong Jong's flying and sending waves of fire in between
I
tanks.
was like, dude.
Yeah, so I really like if there was any future kind of things written about it, I would like to see that time where you see the White Lotus as the Avatar group, like the old school Avatar group, and we know from Legend of Korra that people died. So I want to see, you know, like I would like to see a time.
I would
line
also
done.
like to see some older episodes where
They could have.
Iroh used to be kind of like a evil general technically since he was part of the War
That is
Mission.
true.
I want to see where he met the White Lotus and started seeing the more path to enlightenment. That'd be
God,
interesting.
that would be
Yeah,
a dope
that-
series
that'd
right
be
there.
cool.
Low key,
Yeah, like
seeing him young
White
be
Lotus
like a young Jong
series.
Jong who's also a young Paku who's in the White Lotus, and then talking about like, yo,
One thing I want to see from Iroh, I want to see Iroh's first trip into the spirit world. That's what, like, oh, he in the first book, they're like Iroh's been to the spirit world before.
yeah, that's why that's
It
why
makes you
General
wonder,
Zhao
dude.
wants to talk to him.
It makes you wonder, like,
'Cause
what the
he's
fuck
heard-
this
he's
dude's
like,
been
I heard
up
rumors
to?
that you've been in the spirit world.
Like, what has he been up
That's
to,
what I'm
dog?
saying. I
Like,
want a
my
whole-
boy.
I want at least a comic or a book about Iroh's whole life. Low-key.
Yeah, dude.
That would be
Low
amazing.
key, low key. I feel like the White Lotus, not obviously not to the extent of Avatar, but I feel like they've probably been holding it down. Like for 100 years he was gone. I'm sure they were around at that time.
Yeah, maybe that's why shit didn't get as bad as it could have.
Yeah, maybe.
True.
Well, we never know now, but I mean, hopefully, I do want an Iroh book. That'd be sick, like
Please.
a chapter novel,
Yeah.
not comic. I want.
But then we'll move on to the Sokka trying to slow down the air blimps, and Toph just doing that thing where she wraps herself in metal.
Oh God,
Dude.
she was just like a little freaking transformer
Little
walking
shit,
on
dude.
that, man.
Just walking up to them like, doom, doom, doom,
She's a
doom.
little Gundam, bro.
I like
shit
how
was
they
sick.
really committed to that skill in the series. You have Aang doing it in a couple fights.
Oh, he has a couple things where he engulfs himself
Yeah.
in like the crystal when he fights Asula.
and also
Yeah, I
rocks
really like
too.
that.
Yeah. Rocks in his fight with the Varlo, which we'll
Yeah.
talk about in a bit. But I do like the little comic. They did have a comic relief part where they're taking over the
Oh.
airships and they're like, "Hey, everyone, go down to the bay for someone's
Oh,
birthday."
yeah.
And around it was like, "Yo, can you believe that you remember
Yes.
my birthday?" I was like, "It was so stupid."
Yeah,
but
it was.
You did need it to tense down a bit because shit was about to get even.
I think was
You
it
know-
in the water where it's like "Happy Birthday"?
Yes. They were in the
He's
water.
like, "Oh yeah, I'm from engineering. That's probably why we never met."
But if, like, honestly,
It's so workplace dynamics. I fucking
Low-key,
loved
I
it.
did feel the vibe. Like,
What's
oh
up,
yeah.
dude?
honestly,
happy
they
birthday.
hit a moment of, like, you know, how Avatar, they spare a lot of people's lives. They hit it in comedy.
Yeah, they're like, look, it's kind of a joke. It's kind of a half-assed reason of telling you these people didn't die, but at least it's a fun way of showing.
But
you.
all these other people didn't survive.
Like, that guy lived in his birthday, not his friends that worked in the other ships. Yeah, 'cause then
That's true.
they slice through the other shit, and then shit gets brutal when, man, dude, when they're falling and Top's crying because she's about to drown and he can't let go of
Yeah.
her. I was like, bro, what the
That-
fuck are you doing?
Dude, the stakes were really high with them.
They were real. I thought there was a chance they might have kill off maybe
Yeah,
Mitsuki.
I thought some of them were gonna die. Honestly,
I wouldn't have been surprised if they killed off Sokka.
Yeah, low key. That
Because
would
he was like the mature man who finally became a man and proved himself, and that's how he went, probably saving
would've-
Toph somehow.
I would have
Yeah.
been happy. That would have been a great way to go, but at the same time, I would have been sad
I
because
would
you
have been
lost
depressed
Sokka.
as fuck, and I would have said this is the worst series ever. But like, it is a kid show, but I do find it weird when big war epics like this don't have a lot of death.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're kind of there, quote unquote, but they're not.
but
It's
like
just
main cast.
yeah, it's not even like seeing them like bloody and all dismembered, but you know, it's like I don't want to say it's like it's nice to see death, but it does
It's more
give
real.
you
Yeah,
It
it's
gives you
realistic.
more
You want
of a
the
feeling.
realism.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there was
it
consequences.
drives
to all
in
this
the
shit.
emotion a little bit
You know,
stronger for sure.
I say like Aang's wound was probably like the most realism that they put in a kid show. It's just showing, look, that did happen, and they're not gonna let them forget it because it was always there.
Aang's moon. I'm sorry.
The wound.
wound. I'm
Aang's
sorry.
wound
Yeah, okay.
From the lightning, it was always there. It was always present.
Yeah.
So even if a kid forgot it, or maybe he could make the connection, that thing's there. Like, how did he get that?
Yeah. The only other thing that kind of glossed over, but it did kind of happen, was Jet dying, which we talked earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, we're pretty sure he's dead, but it was so hilarious in the theater when Sokka's
I
like,
missed it. Okay.
oh,
Yeah, I missed it.
They showed Jet and like Crystal falls on him, but he like scoots over for it to fall because it's a production.
and then
And they're in the audience. They're like, "Wait, did Jet die?" And Sokka's like, "You know what? It wasn't very clear. Like even to them."
Yeah.
It was I just love the way was it Zuko, because he actually sounded kind of like surprised, like worried and stuff. Like, wait,
he was
did
concerned.
he die?
He was like, Jet died. I fought that guy in the street once. And
then Sokka's like,
you know what? It wasn't clear.
God,
He's
but
probably
with the
most
tears
likely
in the
dead.
friends, and then like also Toph being like, "Oh yeah, he's not okay."
Yeah, they're lying. Like, he's lying.
Yeah,
That was fucked up.
He's
either
most
that or
likely
he's
dead.
paralyzed, neck down, or some crazy shit.
Oh yeah, I guess they kind of confirmed it with Toph saying he's lying when he said he would be fine. That shit lucky hit.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who knows? But
But yeah,
we'll
back
probably-
to seeing just Toph cry though, like about to fall into the ocean because I'm sure she can't swim. They already established that in
Yeah.
Serpent's Pass. That's just like,
If she
And
could,
that's like the
Ugh.
if she
toughest
keeps
character.
calm, I think she could earthbend her way up, like she did at Serpent's Path.
yeah. But it's just for that moment, you know.
And it's tough. Like,
She
you don't
wasn't sure
expect
how
her. Yeah.
deep the water was, how
'Cause the
much
fall-
she would have
yeah.
to sank to reach Earth. And
That is. Oh, and then it's sand. 'cause
yeah.
it's-
And plus, she was afraid, you know, for Sokka too. And Space Sword was gone forever. Because he had to
dude.
chuck that shit.
Yeah, Sokka. I mean, like just seeing Toph, like you expect her to be like this tough, like freaking machine, and then just in that moment, you're like, damn dog, is it?
Yeah.
But you're lucky Space Sword and Suki.
And
Like
Boomerang,
honestly,
Oh, yeah.
I think from those, what is it, 4 fights, right? Because we covered
Yeah.
one. This is the
Technically
second
4.
one. I think the highest stake ones for me was this one, and also Zuko versus Azula.
Yeah, those are the ones where I thought, oh, someone might die. The Aang one's like, well, it's a kid show. Aang has to win. But also, I was like,
Yeah.
they took 2 people against Azula, so one is kind of free,
And-
you know,
Yeah, that's true.
to die.
That's true. And you also see, like, besides the fact that she can metal bend, those 3 are probably at their least their element, I guess you could say, because none of them are really benders.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously she bends
two
metal
non
now, but
2 non-benders with
yeah,
one
there it goes. Better explain.
one bender, and what she only has to rely on is the ships that they're on, which
Yeah.
one of them should have had to land to survive. You
Yeah.
know?
So that shit was wild. But you're right. Anything else for that one? They live, by the way.
Yeah, Suki shows up clutch.
Yeah, she came in pretty ham. I wasn't expecting that.
I was by then. Like, she kept coming back.
Yeah. All
I
right.
thought she would have came back to save Toph in the water, and I really thought Sokka was gonna die.
I could see that happening too.
And like Toph's like just drowning, but she's like, "Yo, where's Sokka?" And she's like, she doesn't say anything, and they swim to shore type shit.
It's like,
I would
wasn't
have
he
been
with you?
devastated.
Oh.
You know what sucks is
He's
watching
with you.
things as an adult is because I've had experiences with things happening to this with other characters that I'm no longer kind of emotionally vulnerable in
Yeah,
those
yeah.
moments, you know? So it's like, where's the ex machina gonna come in and save them? But yeah, it made me feel it more because like what you mentioned is just the expression on the character's face.
Yeah, it was
That
kinda
sells
like,
that sells the danger, but I knew something was gonna come through. Like I had that feeling. But man,
saving my boy. But I think that wraps up that fight. Next would be Azula versus Zuko.
Versus
the
Katara.
last Agni Kai.
Katara.
the Agni Kai. Yep. Oh man, she straight dissed him earlier. He's like, I challenge you what is it? Agni Kai.
Agni Kai.
And she's like, no. That
I was
was
like,
just
swear.
like what?
And then at this point, you could see, we were talking about it earlier, you can see there's something off. And the only reason he brought Katara is because he needed backup. And he even admitted, he was like,
Well,
nah.
he told Iroh I need backup.
Yeah,
But this
and-
is when Zuko says dumbest shit ever. And he's like, yo, I don't know what, but something's off about her. Like, really? You don't know what? Like, her hair's off.
Yeah, he's like cut
She's
off
got
wrong.
weird fucking things. She's
Like, you
literally
don't know.
crazy. He's like, I don't know what.
Right.
She's
I'm-
so off right
Trust me.
now.
Trust me.
Katara-
I'm a psychic today.
Katara's probably in the background, like, really?
Yeah, he's like, trust me. I grew up for like 10 years with her. Something's off today. I was like, you
like,
dumb
alright.
motherfucker.
like,
No
all right. But that one was pretty fucking sick. Off the bat, you see, at this point, Zuko doesn't rely on his, we mentioned it, he doesn't rely on his anger to firebend. He's more calm and controlled. Versus his sister, who's at this point insane, and obviously does rely on all that anger, and you can see who's prevailing.
but it works for her.
Yeah,
It's
definitely
just
is.
that she was like unstable emotionally due to like how Rusty said the betrayal from earlier on, a couple episodes in the prison, and then realizing, oh, I'm the big dog, so now everybody's gonna come after me. So she starts firing everybody. Her firing scenes were pretty funny.
Yeah. The peach pit. I could have choked on this peach
She
pit.
was about to kill her.
Yup.
The two old ladies are like, wait, which one she banished? 'Cause
Yeah. She's like, you could stay. I'm like, but that's me. Who's staying?
It was fucked up seeing her little memory with her mom though in the mirror to show how much she
Honestly,
really was affected by
I
the
didn't
mom.
think that was a memory.
Oh, it wasn't a memory. It was like a psychotic breakdown.
You
where
know, I thought
she
his mom was like actually really there.
Oh, you thought that her? Yeah.
Yeah, and then until like the
that
glass
would've
shattered, and I
been
was like,
wild.
Coming back from the dead and shit. Like, oh shit. All right.
Oh
For
man,
sure.
getting rid of her Dai Li.
Yeah. She
That was
probably-
wild.
Yeah. They're like, yo,
Dude.
be loyal.
Low key, I'm wondering what happened to the Dali. They just betrayed their nation, and then they got kicked out of the Fire Nation. It's like, where do we go now? Like,
back
they
to
go
the
ba-
nations.
Yeah, they go back to the nation.
shit, go to jail.
And they're
Hey,
like, what
yo.
are you here for? Like, yeah, you do. We
They'll just
follow
pretend-
who's in charge.
They'll just pretend to be Fire Nation people.
Like,
We
did the
were
Dai Li really betray their
brainwashed.
nation? Or they went with the higher power.
We were brainwashed.
No,
Woo.
they'll be like, hey, you guys betrayed us. Like, nah, she won. This one with her. Like, all right, fuckers. But yeah, the acting kind is dope because it starts off with like very low music. It's just like a beat of a, I don't even know what instrument it is. It's just like a little, and they're like fighting the fires just hitting against each other. That fight's so beautiful.
That was
The
actually
blue
pretty
tight,
fire
yeah.
against
And
the
the
red
red.
fire.
And
Like
then
when it clashes.
I like how they panned out and they showed you exactly just how great those flames were because it
Oh,
started
yeah.
engulfing the palace and you could see it out into their cities.
Like it will hit out the thing and catch on fire.
Was a comment up at that point?
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like the how they did the fight. Their movements on some of the things where like she would send a wave and he would like part it in two.
Yes.
It was so fucking dope looking, dude. Then like when she's skating around, he does a weird spin too again to like send out a wave of fire to
Yeah.
knock her over. I was like,
Breakdance.
holy shit, dude.
My boy breakdancing.
That fight was so fucking clean.
It was fucking awesome. And then he gets. This is why they need to stop talking during the fights. But you go ahead. I'll get to it when we get to that end scene.
Well, I was in a. I saw you going into it. I'm like, yes, I want to talk about that.
Go
too.
ahead.
Yeah, just Azul just being a cheap sport. Out of everything that I thought wasn't gonna happen, that it happened.
Well, Zuko's also being a troll though. He like just knocked her over. And
Exactly.
He's like, yo, I'm winning. He's like, how about you shoot lightning, girl? I want to flex on you. And I was like,
That's what I'm saying. They gotta stop talking because you could see after he said that. Oh wait, let me throw it at someone who can't.
no. First she's like, oh, you want lightning, and then she notices her.
Yeah.
But
that's
he gave her the chance
That's
to do
true.
lightning. Like
That is
she's
true.
literally doing lightning, and he could probably fire punch her at that point. But he's like, I'm gonna redirect this shit, bitch. I'm like, no, doc, just
Like, no,
beat
Yeah.
her ass.
No.
But
He's
yeah.
like, I didn't practice it moving.
Literally.
It's a little more difficult.
The only thing that faults me about that, like that whole scene, is like, waterbending taught lightning, like right direction. Why wasn't Katara taught that?
Bro, Iroh wasn't around.
Yeah.
To teach her
Zuko
that.
taught it to Aang.
Zuko did teach her the Aang, but I guess he probably.
I wonder if you need a firebending basis.
That's.
If
that
that's
might
the
be
case,
it.
then yes. But I was always wondering, like, Katara knows waterbending. That should be a skill.
No, well, but he only taught it to Aang because he was like, Aang, you're gonna fight my dad. My dad knows how to do this shit. He didn't
Okay.
teach it to Katara
True.
because he never expected
True.
Katara to fight her. And it's kind of the same way Iroh told her. It's like, I never want someone else to use this, so I'm not gonna teach him because hopefully they never have to use it. I'll teach it to Aang though, because he's gonna fight like probably the dude who probably taught Asula how to do it. So that's the only thing, because I'm a simp for that. Avatar and Airbender every time you bring up a point. Hey.
But yeah, no, you're
Yeah,
right.
Dick about it,
and
but-
you know, like you brought excellent point and like my point. We don't know where the basis is because he said he studied it from
Yeah,
water
he learned their
movements,
movements.
but the base of it wasn't
It's
never
still
said
his Fire
explicitly.
Nation. It could
Yeah.
be.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, Asula's a bitch. Takes a cheap shot.
Yeah.
Yup, that was.
Zuko catches it.
Because shoots at Katara, but then it's Katara versus Azula, and Katara comes up top, and she is insane. But that's it for that fight.
Oh,
I
man.
honestly wasn't expecting I kind of was expecting like the ice thing.
Yeah,
Not
give
the
a
ice
little
thing.
respect.
Yeah,
about
I know.
Qatar,
Like
but
you
yeah,
just
was
glossed
like,
over
Qatar
like
won.
Qatar won and the story.
Hey, I didn't know if we
Well,
wanted to
it's
get too into
It's
it.
'cause
Oh,
he comes-
the guy that gets into everything doesn't want to get into.
I'm trying to get to the last fight. I'm sorry.
She's such a flex though. The way she like takes her in the middle, freezes herself with her, and then breathes her way out.
Oh,
to,
that
like,
was
to melt
pretty.
the
That
water
was
around
pretty
her and
sick.
then
I forgot. I
change her
forgot
out.
about
Because she's
that.
from the South Pole.
I forgot about that
Like
shit.
South Pole.
And then Azula straight loses it, breathing fire through her
Yes,
mouth.
that
just
was
crying.
just the
And when they
unbound
drew
and
her
everything.
crying face too, though. Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Still low key hot.
They
Fuck.
sold all those emotions and just seeing Katara do things like that because you see like the evolution of her bending, and then at that point where you're like, oh man, she's like that one. She put basically Azula in those ice cubes you have in your refrigerator when you pop them in for a little bit and you're like, are they almost done yet? And you see the water moving inside. So I really like those effects and how they slowly showed her like unfreezing certain parts so she could have mobility, but at the same time both of them had to hold their breath while they were in there. And I like when basically she chained her up, let everything go, both of them are gasping for air. That was a nice touch to that scene.
That shit was fucked up. It was brutal. Then Zuko and Katara just seeing her in her crying state though.
Yeah.
Like, can you take her to the? No, I ain't touching you.
Well, it's like when it's like a fine detail. Like Albie likes pointing out. There's a point where Azula breathes fire on the floor.
Oh, and the dry set immediately.
Yeah. I was like,
that was
yeah.
just a nice little artist detail, which I remember that too. She
God.
goes, she breathes a section, and that section no longer has water. Little minute thing, but
Yeah.
we appreciate it.
It was great. I like how, how Iroh also told Zuko, dude, if you do this wrong, you're gonna get damage in your inner organs. And
Oh, he
I like
did,
how they
yeah.
saw that they added that, so everything you learn in the series comes back, and
It
they
was
did
all
it to
set
the
for
very
like a
end.
purpose.
like
Yeah.
the scar that Zuko has on his chest permanently.
Hmm?
This the lightning scar he has on his chest from when Azula shot him with lightning.
It was on his stomach.
She shot at us. She shot at Katara and he jumped in the way, so aimed mid chest.
No, he did catch it though.
I know,
He
but
caught
it
it.
still shows like when he's being coordinated, it shows the actual scar of him.
They showed more up because I saw that they.
It was
focused
probably
on
in the
his-
middle. We'll rewatch.
Yeah.
But now we get to go to what Lois was trying to rush this shit for.
Yeah. All right.
But it
Yeah.
was pretty sick.
Aang
though.
wins. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh man, so this was a really really awesome fight. You see, you never really see like Ozai really fight, and I think this is the
Oh,
first time.
You barely even see him
That's
bending.
true,
He
yeah.
just lets the
yeah.
And
lightning
this
bend
is
the one
this
time.
is really it, and
Just
it's
see him
like,
surrounded by fire, sitting
Yeah.
down.
and this is it. You see this dude go all out, and
Dude,
I thought it was.
he a savage though for the way he disrobes to go.
Oh
fight.
yeah,
Oh,
dude!
yeah.
I was like,
gonna
my
say, he's
dog.
He's got them rip off nylon pants.
And
He was ready.
And he straight up just burned the cape. It's like, ain't nobody wearing my
Oh,
cape
yeah,
once
yeah,
I dropped
he's like,
it.
this is a Phoenix Lord cape.
Dog,
Dog. This shit
he
don't
was-
hit the
he was
ground.
fucking
He'll be
ready.
reborn like me.
No.
He was ready, like, let me just.
And you know who wasn't ready?
Aang.
Aang.
Low key, if I would have seen him just like the Velcro come out, like, you know what? I'll come back tomorrow when this is gone, because I ain't ready for this.
But the fight is dope though. The way Aang's trying to he's throwing boulders because they're in like this weird like isolated rock structures that are pointed up.
What I really loved about this final sequence is that the tiger turtle drops him off there, and every element that he needs, it's there. He has the ocean nearby. He has
like
all
a
the
river
rocks.
coming down into the ocean there.
And of course, air's everywhere, and fire he can make. So I really like the location because it does show like in the beginning of the series where they're showing all the previous avatars, earth, water, and air, fire, and they're in pillars. So it kind of like
Oh,
to me
yeah,
it called it
Hey.
back. I'm like, oh, all right,
Connections, making them.
yeah. So that's what I liked about the setting, as Sergio was explaining.
Yeah, but pretty much, yeah. So pretty much, Aang's getting pushed back. He's on the defense most of the time, up until the Fire Lord shoots lightning at Aang, and he, to his surprise, he's like, "Ah, shit, my son taught him how to redirect." You can see kind of the fear in his eye for the first time.
Yeah,
But Aang, he's not about that life.
I know that was such a like captivating scene when I saw it. It's like, okay, I thought this was gonna be the turning point, and maybe Aang was gonna go ahead and redirect it to him or around him to try to not in his life, but just to scare him. But he chooses to straight up just leave himself open and shoot it into the sky. So I'm like, okay, this is not gonna get any better. That's the point where I'm like, all right, how much more damage can Aang take? Because he seems to be at the very end of this road.
Because they have a dope scene again where Osai's on the offensive and Aang does that thing where he backs himself up to a wall, surrounds himself with rocks like you say he does, and then he's just blasting him backwards with the fire so intensely. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
It's like
He
he's
makes that
straight up.
double?
I straight up thought I'm like, this is Gara against Sasuke.
Ultimate defense.
But then it just harkens back to like, dude, this dude's a 12-year-old boy and he had a year to learn all 4 elements, and he's taking on a fucking roided out fire bending master, and like, fuck.
Yeah,
like,
who has he's established, I will kill anybody. I will destroy
dude.
land to get what I
that's just
want.
wild, dude.
Osai is a bitch, but he is body goal, so
Low key, dude. Oh, low key, dude. I wasn't expecting that. But that's just like, damn, dude. Like, how did, like, honestly, rewatching that is like, how the hell does Aang really have a chance? Like, dude, this guy had like, he barely has any training besides airbending. It's like, dude, like, fuck.
That's what I have to keep reminding myself. Like, I'm like, when they dropped the knowledge, like, it's only been 1 year, because I thought at least more time had passed. And I'm like, this guy started off as a 12-year-old going into a year 13, and I'm here expecting him to take on all the struggles of the world, and they're lying on this 13-year-old boy. And I'd have to calm myself down. It's like, dude, like, he's a kid. He's unsure. He's conflicted on what he wants to do and how to solve this problem.
Yeah.
It's like, sit through this.
When you get annoyed at Aang, you are like, he is a 12-year-old who's like got thrust upon this fucked up shit.
Like, he didn't
Yeah.
want
They're
this.
being taught to be a free spirit too.
That
so
too.
if anything, it's fucked up.
Yeah, God, that's the one thing that I have to struggle.
Like
it's
we
a
said,
struggle. Like, you
it
struggle
is.
with it at the beginning of the series with him going out and being a goofball, and you know he has this big responsibility to the world. And as you progress, you're reminded, like, yo, he's 12. You gotta chill out on this judgment now.
Like we said, yeah, and also learning on the job too, man. It's
Mhm.
like, fuck.
Yeah.
But
At least he got a job.
I
And
know.
then after that, man, dude, when he gets pushed back enough, then he like kind of accidentally hits his back and that unlocks the
Yeah.
Avatar state. Holy shit,
Yup.
pops off,
man. The
dude.
effect gang on this shit. dude.
Yeah, man.
I like a part where Osai throws like 3 giant fire like balls at him pretty much, and he shoots like water in between them and then air to disperse them. It was like the sickest shit ever, dude.
Is this after he enters the state?
Yeah, after
Yeah.
the state, he like throws 3 fireballs and he like throws water into them and then air to separate them so they don't hit him for shit.
I think
And then it becomes that weird atom shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I saw where they were going. I'm like, all right, all right.
Yeah.
I give him props because
works.
it would have been really kind of hard to really. How else would you do that? It's like, I don't know.
That they solved it.
Yeah,
I know they
it
solved
wasn't the
It was
most
great.
like visually appealing, but it works. But my favorite part for sure is when he brings the rocks up. He just crushes them.
Oh, he condenses them and
Yeah,
then
he
he
just
uses
like,
one as a Gatling gun. He just
Yeah, dude,
Yes!
like,
That was
like,
actually a great thing.
Oh, dude, that shit was so sick, dude. Oh.
Oh, God, that fight, it just left me with a lot more like hunger to see how they could push these elements to the absolute brink. I didn't think we got enough of that in this last fight.
They could have
They
done
could have
more.
done.
Yeah,
They
that's
could
true.
definitely
More
done
mixture
more.
of using both elements at one
That
time.
would have been great. That would have been fucking sick.
Because all I really saw, I'm like, okay, so he's just going around and it's like he has like he's just spinning like a rock on a string all around him with all these other elements, and is just going forward, and it's like he was in his element spaceship.
In collision, we're trying to rely on the collision, I guess.
I did like that he was still moving in this little spaceship. Like there's one point where Osai is flying through and he kind of puts his arms together and then claps 2 giant rocks in front of Osai. So he was still doing something.
Yeah, he was doing a lot of stuff, but
Like he was still moving at least. I mean, inside he was still bending.
Yeah.
Doing the martial arts.
It's
which
like
is my favorite.
I
Part.
know it's a gripe, and I'm not completely disregarding all the stuff he did. I just wanted to see more, but definitely when he was doing, like you said, the Gatling gun and combining elements, I'm like, yes, I wanted
it
to see
could have been
more.
a bit more creative though.
Yeah.
I agree
That's
with
true.
that.
Yeah, for sure.
Then he corners my man, puts
And
him
then-
in the
And
weird
then
like
this
lockdown.
is this the one where he does the lightning after that?
No,
or was the lightning earlier?
Lightning
It
was
goes-
earlier.
Lightning
Oh,
was earlier.
okay.
No, it goes Avatar state, then he goes out of the Avatar state because they do the redirect lightning because he was gonna kill him,
Mm.
and he stopped himself from killing him.
Okay. And then that's where he locks him
Yeah,
down.
and
Yeah.
after he redirects the lightning is when he consumes himself in rock and
Gara?
holds him off, and then he gets pushed into the little circle, the Gara ball.
I thought the
Gara
Gara
Ball
Ball.
is Avatar State.
Yeah, I think that was the Avatar state.
No, that's right before.
That's
No.
what I'm saying. Yeah. So sorry, you got me confused because I was talking about when he locked Ozai down.
That's the ending.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was asking. What led up to it, but I got confused because I was trying to
It
figure
was
out where the
him
lightning was
shooting
at.
him down with everything and finally getting into that. It's
Yeah,
after
yeah.
he gets pushed to the wall and has that perfect rock that hits his injury and basically reboots the whole system. Oh yeah, all that stuff happened.
Yeah, I got
the
you.
Windows
Yeah.
music, the start of Windows
Yeah.
music.
I got you. I was just trying to. I got a little confused, but I got it. Yeah. So and then he locks down Ozai, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And then
Energy bending.
Energy
Energy
bending.
bending.
and I guess the important thing was that it's very easy to get consumed by the other person if I guess your will is weak or whatever. However, he
Yeah.
explained it.
I think it's basically that whole examination was of how if you grow up in a nation, you're going to be consumed by their politics and by their actions.
Mm.
So you're learning how to behave from an institution that's not right, but you also within that society have other people other people who are teaching you different ways to live.
Mhm.
So the easiest thing is to be consumed by the system. The harder part is to fight against it and reform it. So I think it really ended in that place because Aang was in a world who functioned within some rules, and everybody's telling him the only way as an avatar to bring peace is to kill people.
Kill motherfuckers. But I guess I had the little dramatic effect where he was losing by showing the color red, and I think he was blue.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
he's getting consumed, but obviously I think it was his right eye. He's like, nah, bitch. And he switched that shit on the Fire Lord.
Psych.
Psych. And he essentially just takes this dude's bending away, and that shit was freaking sick. And then you see like fucking Fire Ozai. It was like just like his look on his face. I was like, bro, this guy got
Yeah,
fucked
would
up.
you
It's like
do to me,
almost
dog?
worse.
Yeah,
Almost worse
it's
than
like
killing
he
him.
was
Well, for
coming
him,
off
yeah,
the
that's
drugs
probably
and stuff.
worse, though. Like he'd rather probably die than be a non-bender.
Yep.
Because he's so power hungry.
Sorry.
Yeah. Like that ending was great. Did it just leave off there? I can't remember if there was
No.
Then
a
everyone
little
shows
more.
up and Suki makes a dope joke because she's the best girl.
What is the joke?
Something about guess you're like the king of losing or some shit. Yep,
Yeah.
it was pretty bad. That was a joke.
But I think
Because
that
they're all making fun of him in the ground.
Oh,
and Suki's like,
gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha.
Mr. King of not winning stuff, and they're like, and Tops are like, yeah, leave the jokes to us, sweetie. But after that, they do have a scene with the Fire Lord Zuko's coronation, and he reintroduces Avatar Aang.
Oh yeah.
And they have like everyone lined up. Ty Lee joins the Kyoshi Warriors.
Yep.
I think
So
Oh
they do have a
yeah.
nice little
Yes,
after.
yes.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
then
they
it-
let her join because she taught him the
In prison, they hung out too.
yeah, that was
yeah, and
And
so
there's
good.
another ending after
I think
that
that's
ending.
my favorite part is that ending where they're all together.
Oh,
In the tea shop, they're
Yeah.
in the Green Dragon.
Katara and Aang kiss at the end. I'm like,
yeah,
At first, I'm
the-
just drawing them because they're all then bossing Satan.
Yeah.
The Green Dragon, Iroh's tea shop. He's drawing them. They go outside.
That shit was a nice
and my
moment.
man finally gets that little kiss.
I know.
like-
When I
like-
saw that, I'm like, damn, that's such a heartwarming place to leave this story.
Yeah, dude, I was like, that was nice.
Yeah.
I like this ending. You know,
It was dope,
it was
man.
nice.
Because they teased that kiss forever.
Well, he snuck one in the invasion, man.
But
That's true.
she straight up told him, like, bro, you're not listening to
No,
me.
he
Not
did-
that one?
no,
Way
no.
before that one?
Before that,
Yeah, it was
when they're
before
in the,
that.
when they're in the submarines and they're like, "Hey, we gotta surface for air," and then we go back down again.
Mm,
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna go pre-fight the Fire Lord while you guys do invasion." He kisses her.
That's true.
And like a genius, immediately leaves before he could reject her. Big green move.
Well, there you go.
That is
Yeah, we kind
And
of
then-
skirted over this.
You
And
know
then
what?
when it
That
happens
is-
on
that is
after
true.
that.
So
But,
like we
the
said,
two
we had to skirt over
consensual
shit.
kisses, and then the last one where it was just like, it's not like we're at war and
She's like,
you know-
"Yo, I don't have time to think about this. I'm
Yeah.
confused right now."
Mhm.
And then he like fucking sexually assaults her.
Yeah,
that was not
Look,
that was
it
not
was
cool.
not
Wayne.
consent.
That was not cool.
You
You might be the
That's a
avatar,
kill.
but rules
You
still
won't
apply.
kill, but you'll do this. I don't know. Dog.
Very sus.
Mm.
But I think that's where it leaves it off, and I thought it on a very sweet note. I think
It was a
It's-
nice
it's
ending. I do prefer when shows show you a bit more of life.
Yeah,
after
it would have
the
been
shit,
nice.
but
Like there are other nations you're wondering like what the fuck happened at this point. But for what it is and for what it was, I'm content. Obviously, you have the comics, so which is I'm reading, and I think definitely
if you want
it definitely is.
continuations, if you don't have enough film and you want more Avatar: The Last Airbender, go buy the comics by Dark Horse. The first two is The Promise
And
and,
The
The
Search.
Search.
yeah. And
There's
we're not
three more and one more coming out.
yeah,
in,
with the
like, a
next
week.
one, right? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
With I think the one that's right after this one is The Promise. No spoilers. It is right.
Yeah, The Promise.
And no
is
spoilers, but it
immediately
literally just picks off where the show ends.
Oh, man.
Just
yeah,
about.
it's like a straight continuation.
Yeah.
Like light little spoilers talking about all the Fire Nation people that live in the Earth Kingdom, and they're trying to figure out, hey, do we stay as settlers or are we still invaders?
Yeah,
And
the colonies.
it deals with the politics of
Yeah.
like all the people that moved to the Earth things after the war.
Because they're no longer colonies. Cause
Yeah,
they've been
because
defeated.
now, so
Yeah.
they're very interesting. So
Oh,
Yeah.
God, I fucking old. I love these politic talk.
Yeah.
You know, like it drives the story so well.
Yeah.
and if you never got closure, read The Search to find out more about Zuko's mom, because they're dicks about that one for not
Yeah.
really telling you.
They even
Oh,
kind
really?
of made it in the comic. Like, we've been wanting to tell you.
Zuko even goes up to his dad before those nice
Yeah.
endings, and he's like, "Tell me what happened to my mother," and it cuts away.
Yeah.
Dicks.
Yes. Oh, God.
The comics will tell you
That
though,
is true.
and they're really good. They're really amazingly drawn. So please
Mhm.
read those.
All right. I will definitely read those since I've already watched the show.
Well, you're gonna have
so
to wait because
Yeah.
I'm giving him back Saturday.
that's fine. It's okay. Honestly, when I finished the series, I'm like, I need more Avatar, and I looked it up, and I'm like, okay, Legend of Korra, I know that's next, and I'm like, oh fuck, it's behind Amazon paywall.
Oh, is it now? It
Yeah.
used to be part of it, but I guess not.
For real? That's whack.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Well, get on you. We have them between the two of us.
It's true.
I'm getting it today from Sergio though, because my sister's watching it with my sister. Unless you want a Rochambeau.
Nah, it's cool. I'll
Unless
just
you
take
want.
'em.
Don't worry. There's one thing I'm missing that I'll probably buy, and I'll let Eddie borrow it.
What is?
Oh, there's one that has the
double-
Avatar
the
and
double
Korra
pack?
Blu-rays in one thing.
Oh yeah.
I literally don't need it since I have them separately and the 15th anniversary, but I want it because it
Hey,
exists.
hey,
Well,
it's
there
your
you
show.
go. If you use it. But I think that's it, dude. Thank you guys. Yeah, right. Anything else?
Pretty
That's
much.
nice.
We love
Um,
Avatar. Shit's amazing.
Dragon of the West.
I finally got on the hype train, and
Hey.
I completely understand that. I row.
Yeah. I hope this finally makes up for that time Marcus made you watch the
Tales
Tales
of
of Bossing Say without any context. It makes no sense.
You know
without
what's so
context.
funny
I
though?
probably ruined it for you.
Okay.
Like all the others, like you know what? I don't think it did.
Good.
Like I know he wanted like the emotional impact, but I wasn't so
yeah, you need to
invested
be
in
invested
all of
in
them.
the characters.
But the one that still hit was, I think, Iroh.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think that one
Oh,
like
that shit always hits
you,
me.
you just watch it and it
Everyone's
hit.
tough.
And you just see like this nice grandpa going around, and then it's like, man, why is he crying? Why is he crying by the end of it?
That shit was deep.
It's fucking brutal.
But for our listener in Sweden, thank you for tuning in, and check us out on YouTube if you're still watching.
For real.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and
Please.
subscribe. Well, hopefully we'll have some more videos up for y'all in the coming weeks. This is our anniversary cast. Thank you guys, whoever it is actually managed to watch besides us. Thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah.
and
See
no
you
one's
guys
probably hearing
later.
this.
And we
Loser-
still think
loser.
soccer is useless.
Loser Quest out.